Sure. All right. Sure, it is running. Okay. Yep, we are in fact live. Good evening. Welcome to another riveting edition of Weaponized Autism. I am your host, your leader in the TISM. I will eventually be joined by my partner in TISM, Kason. We got some stuff to go through tonight. We got a lot of Atozy. We've got apparently electronic arts being purchased by a foreign entity. We've got some more. We've got some more fun stuff from the Hookah Hobbit and Benazuli, aka the Throbbit, the Rainbow Throbbit. And I can't remember if I brought him up on the channel before. Another fake alpha by the name of Vincent Fisher. John Bravo did a video exposing good old Pubes Watson. So we've got some stuff tonight. While I'm waiting for Kason to show up, I should bring up that I was originally going to close out tonight's stream with a review of the movie Megan is Missing. I was going to use that for my next bottom of the bin. And in retrospect, I decided that would probably not be such a good idea based on what I've heard about the movie. Watching it before the stream would probably put me in a sour mood. So that's going to have its own dedicated video that Kason will not be joining me for. After that, I've got our next playthrough ready. It's in the tank. It is just in the process of being edited right now. It is another PS1 Resident Evil clone from the early 2000s. Oh, hold up. Ladies and gentlemen, Kason has arrived.
Hello? It's shit the bed.
You or Discord?
Yes.
I was just.
All right, what's on the agenda for?
We've got some Atozy, we've got some Razor Fist, we've got some more American Thor, and some John Bravo.
As long as it's entertaining while I eat.
Yeah. I was just informing the viewers or viewer that my next playthrough, Evil Dead: Hail to the King, is complete. The full video is in the entire recording from start to finish is in the can. I just have to now work on editing it down. So
Good stuff.
So I'm going to be working on that between the Megan is Missing video. I'll probably watch Megan is Missing tomorrow after work, and then start writing the video so I can record it on Sunday or somewhere abouts.
And don't forget to give me that Predator thumbnail.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just put the Predator in Call of Duty, and I record like 20 minutes of gameplay with the new Predator skin, and then also the new MP40, which they didn't call the MP40, of course, because Activision cheaps out on gun rights.
Yeah.
Well, gun name rights.
That's true. But anyway,
They don't even. I'm sorry. What?
Uh, your screen share is working, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you were about to say.
Um.
You were talking about the Predator skin.
Yeah. I was chewing. Sorry. But yeah. Yeah. They don't even for the last 2 or 3 Call of Duty games. They don't even call it the AK anymore. They give it a generic sounding Russian name, like the Kastov 47.
Well, that's lame.
Well, I guess at least they can use the gun likeness without the actual name.
I mean,
At least Capcom somewhat uses actual gun names apart from like submachine gun and assault rifle in the newer Resident Evils, but back then they didn't.
right?
Okay, I think I'm delayed.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because you're taking like you're taking a lot longer than normal to reply.
Are you sure it's Discord and
So
it's not just
I'm going
me?
to back out.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna back out real fast, and I'll come right back, and then we'll know.
All right. The hell was that?
I have no idea.
Anyways,
All right.
well, first we have this clip from, I guess it's a fan channel of Asmongold's Asmon Enjoyer. This was a short that came across my feed the other day. You are not going to believe it.
Okay. Let's go.
This sounds straight out of Gotham City.
The biggest gang in my neighborhood was run by a guy with Down syndrome. We called him Fubar because he was fucked up beyond all repair. Now, the people in the community originally didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, he has Down syndrome, let him.
Right,
But
yeah.
eventually
Let him do
shit
what he
got
wants.
bad. He would only recruit other people with Down syndrome. So you'd see a group of Down syndrome drug dealers coming at you saying, hey, give me all your money. But make no mistake about it, Fubar was a fucking genius. And these Down syndrome guys are the strongest people you'll ever meet. They would selectively take down corners of each neighborhood until they controlled the whole city. A huge gang war broke out between the Mexicans and the Downies. Fubar, after 2 long years, wiped
The Downies.
I'm going to hell for laughing.
out all the Mexicans. Eventually, he died due to a SWAT raid. They fucking raided his house, threw a flashbang in the jacuzzi, which gave him a seizure and killed him. The poor guy had epilepsy. That was his weakness. If it wasn't for that, he'd be Pablo
Pablo.
Oh, what?
he died after the SWAT team threw a flashbang into his hot tub.
Yeah, but they call him Pablo what?
At Pablo Escobar.
Oh, God.
Dude, the
Or like
comments.
Pablo Special Bar.
The comments are something else.
Right.
And normally we don't go down to the comments, but we have to.
All right.
They controlled the downtown.
Oh, God.
He sure was taken out by special forces. Pablo Escobar.
Pablo Special Bar.
Want to join our gang? Are you down? Yeah, I'm down.
Down with the syndrome.
Oh, what?
Hey, my friend Justin. Hey, my cousin, my late cousin Justin, who had Down syndrome. He would have found that funny as fuck.
The irony of getting uppers from Downies.
Oh, it's a good thing. It's a good thing no one from the church watches our streams.
Breaking Downs.
I'll get excommunicated quick as fuck.
Breaking.
I'm Mexican and I'm rooting for the Down.
Yeah. The movie is called Dawn of Downtown. Now his heir is emerging.
Speaking of retardation,
What?
I was just gonna say. Speaking of retardation, did you hear about the show with Hassan with Nepo Hassan?
Oh, I saw that.
And then he blatantly lied on camera, trying to say you were lied to. It's like, no, you're the one lying, you fucking knuckle baby.
I mean, he's a chronic liar anyway. This was my favorite. Now his
He's
heir. This was my favorite one. Now his heir is emerging. Robert Downey Jr.
So there's this person I used to follow on Facebook. His name is Wayne Butler. He frequently filmed himself telling his daughter awful dad jokes, and now I know how she feels.
It's still funny as hell.
Granted, I tell those same jokes to my increasingly annoyed 5-year-old autistic son, but
SWAT after the flashbang. Subject down.
this kid is literally throwing Power Rangers at my head to get me to shut up.
He utilized Thomas the Tank Engine to move a lot of product.
Hey man, don't talk down on my boy Thomas like that.
Best plot to a South Park episode. This could be a South Park episode.
I'm surprised. Well, they have the idea now. It's not copyright.
They call him Pablo the Teflon Downey.
Jesus.
All right, let's move on before we kill ourselves now.
Yeah.
So now
that gave me whiplash.
All right, we are now segueing over to Atozi.
This scammer stole $200 million and is now behind a bunch of
You what?
I was about to say, I think I got the notification for this one, but never got around to seeing it. Then I see it's 12 days ago, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I've been holding on to it for a bit.
This scammer stole $200 million and is now behind a bunch of TikToks trying to get him released from prison early. And this is after he orchestrated multiple multi-million-dollar schemes that cost victims over $200 million, including running an $8.5 million fraud from his prison cell using his wife as an accomplice, while he was serving a 25-year sentence for his original $179 million scam.
The CEO of First Farmers Financial is being sentenced to 25 years in prison for...
So this dude is just this guy's a regular Jordan Belfort.
I was going to say Kingpin, but okay.
fraud in attempting to escape to South America. Nikesh Patel was free on bond after admitting to selling $179 million worth of sham loans to Milwaukee investment firms. He confessed in court that he was able to pull this off by providing fake documents that said his loan...
Do what?
Did you just say ShamWows?
I don't think so.
South America. Nikesh Patel was free on bond after admitting to selling $179 million worth of sham loans to Milwaukee
Sham loans.
Oh, I was about to say, what the fuck did ShamWow do?
Apparently, he sold $179 million worth of it.
Well, shit. I was about to say, I thought back to the ShamWow commercial, and it's like, oh, that guy who looked happy-go-lucky, he's definitely pissed, and it's hard to imagine him pissed.
firms. He confessed in court that he was able to pull this off by providing fake documents that said his loans were guaranteed by federal government.
I mean, this is just outrageous. And the first time I came across the story was on a reel that popped on my Instagram feed that said, I'm currently serving 52 years in prison for a non-violent crime. My first thought was, wow, that sounds insane. What did this guy do? There's no way. There's no way you're serving 52 years for a non-violent crime. What could you have possibly done to have this happen? Well, apparently, a lot. Because the more I dug into this guy, the deeper I realized the rabbit hole was. Because it's safe to say there was way more to the story than what he was telling us here. Because this guy might be one of the most persistent and audacious financial criminals we've ever covered here on this channel. And what started as a fake loan business turned into a decade-long crime spree that didn't even stop when he was behind bars. So meet Nikesh A.J. Patel, a 41-year-old former CEO from Florida who turned what could have been a very
hopefully no relation to our current FBI director, Kash Patel.
Yeah.
very legitimate business into one of the largest USDA loan fraud schemes in American history. Before everything went sideways, Patel seemed to be living the American dream. He was a successful businessman, partially owned a restaurant, and had recently purchased 5 different hotels. But underneath all that success was a massive house of cards that was about to come crashing down. So, what happened? Well, back in 2011, Nick was nearly a 30-year-old entrepreneur from Windermere, Florida, who likely resembled any other ambitious businessman trying to make it in the financial world. He partnered up with a guy by the name of Timothy Fisher, a banker at Wells Fargo in California, to launch something called First Farmers Financial, which, on the surface, looked like a legitimate lending company. Nikesh ran operations from Florida, while Timothy handled things from the West Coast. Their business was supposed to work with the USDA's Business and Industry Guaranteed Loan Program, which basically is the government's way of encouraging private lenders to help rural communities grow. This idea is simple. If you lend money to businesses that improve rural areas, the USDA will guarantee a chunk of that loan, making it a very safe investment. So to make that work in practice, their company First Farmers would find legitimate businesses that needed money, arrange loans for them, get the USDA to guarantee part of those loans, and then sell those government guaranteed portions to investors. Since the US government was backing those loans, they seemed to consider rock solid investments for retirement plans, banks, and other institutions. But Nikesh, he looked at this whole system and thought, well, why bother with actual businesses and real borrowers when you can just make everything up? And that's essentially what he did, because starting in late 2012, Nick started to craft what might be one of the most elaborate financial fiction projects ever made. He didn't just create a few fake loans, he built an entire universe of non-existent businesses, fictional entrepreneurs, and imaginary rural development projects.
It sounds to me like it would actually require less effort to just be legitimate.
Yeah.
This is
I'm just getting...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
This is a very elaborate way of just just making bank when you could have just as easily made your own startup.
Yeah, I'm just getting flashbacks to that whole Madison Russo debacle from a couple of years ago, and it's like, just be honest in yourself. You don't have to fake shit.
At least this guy's not pretending to have cancer.
Still did a shitty thing.
What he's doing is it is a metaphorical cancer, but
he's a cancer on society.
Yeah.
I can just picture this guy going ham on the whiteboard, frantically, but, with just, a whole new universe for himself of, fake businesses. So, over the span of, 2 years roughly, Nick fabricated 26 completely fake loans.
The FBCU, Fake Business Cinematic Universe.
Wait, what?
The FBCU, the Fake Business Cinematic Universe.
don't give Michael Bay any ideas.
Did you hear that rumor that he's supposed to be coming back to do another Transformers movie?
Okay, I personally didn't mind his Transformers movies, but that's just me.
I've seen the first 3. I thought they were just okay. I've never been a Transformers guy.
They were. I mean, I liked them when I was a kid, but growing up, I realized just how cheesy they are.
If we're going to talk like, if we're talking like 80s toy lines that just happened to have a TV show based around them, I was more of a Thundercats guy.
Did Zelda ever have toys back then?
I don't think so. They did have a cartoon in '89, but they didn't. I don't know if they had a toy line. I know Mario had fuckloads of toys back then.
Yeah, I remember when we looked at the stupid video game merchandise, and there was a Mario and Luigi shower head.
Yeah.
And then Danger Dolan was just like, just give them the shower. I wash your butthole. And it's like, that's I'm sorry, that was borderline. That was just borderline creepy. Danger Dolan.
It's a clean.
Get away from my ass, Mario. Midget.
Especially with that big ass nose.
Yeah, I didn't want to think about that.
Anyways.
Let's see. Well, hopefully I can finish this piece of pizza. Thanks.
Ranging from $2.5 million to $10 million each. And that was nothing simple because he created detailed business plans for companies that did not exist, forged signatures of USDA employees that he never met, and even invented fake loan identification numbers that looked official enough to fool professional investors. Then to make everything look legitimate, he even invented a fictional accountant who supposedly certified audits of these non-existing businesses. So every document, every signature, every financial statement was just completely made up. Nick's first target was Pennant Management, a Milwaukee-based investment firm that specialized in buying USDA guaranteed loans and packaging them into investment funds for their clients. So to get Pennant interested, Patel, they had to convince them that First Farmers was legitimate, successful, and just have been operating for a long time. So the way he did that was by creating fake financial statements showing millions in assets, healthy cash flows, and steady profits. But of course, none of that was real. This will be a theme from this guy. This is just crazy. So between May of 2013 and September of 2014, more than a whole year, Patel sold Pennant $179 million worth of loans that existed essentially only in his head. Our guy sold $179 million of air. Crazy work. And the money flowed from Pennant's clients, which were retirement plans for teachers, municipal employees, and regular working Americans. So this really puts Patel into the Hall of Fame of scumbags.
Oh.
God damn.
Oh. Hold on. Let me find the,
You got a clip for this?
I am looking for it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. As soon as it decides to go.
What an asshole.
Negan clips never get old.
Hey, I like the understated delivery in that one versus the one everybody else uses, which is the Adam Sandler one. Yeah, that one.
What an asshole!
You see, you mentioned Adam Sandler, and I just think back to something Lily shared on Facebook, like a little while back. And it was a picture of Miss Rachel slowly turning into yelling Adam Sandler, and it says, "The mom I try to be versus the mom I am when I get mad." And I made a mistake of commenting, "Yeah, that's you." She blocked me. She blocked me for 2 days. No, I'm just kidding. But that shit's just fucking wild, dude.
again, it seems like you could have exercised less effort just by being legitimate. But then again, maybe, of course, you wouldn't be rolling in dough then, but at least you wouldn't be in jail or prison.
Jail. Prison.
Fucking idiot.
So essentially, by him selling this $179 million worth of air, that just parked that money straight into a Florida bank account that only Nick could access. So from there, he just went on this massive spending spree. Like, essentially, he just started spending money like someone who won the most illegal lottery ever. Because once Patel had access to nearly $200 million in stolen funds, I mean, the guy went wild. He spent more than $130 million buying, renovating, and operating hotels. Not fake hotels, actually, for
Every fucking time.
I've taken the calling that the Hassan theme.
What was that?
Hey, it's my mother's theme song. I said, well, I originally said, hey, I've taken to calling this the Hassan theme, but then I backtracked and said, hey, it's my mother's theme song whenever she talks on Facebook.
Of course.
Clown music.
Of fucking course, this guy just got all that money and just couldn't contain himself. That's how. Number one, that's how most lottery winners go broke within a year. Number two, that's how bank robbers get caught.
Yeah.
Number two, that's how bank robbers get caught because they just start because they get all that money and you can't fucking help yourselves.
I'm just saying, if I win the lottery, at least half of it's getting donated.
Right. At least I'd put
And
that.
the rest of it is going to be mainly spent for my kids. Sorry, Lily, the kids come first.
If I win the lottery, the first thing I'm doing is buying buying up a piece of land out in the country with a small like 500-600 square foot house on it, and just
And live the rest of your days for money.
That'll just be my headquarters from now on, and I probably use the rest of the money to finance movies, finance new movies and video games.
Well, there is that horror game I've been trying to get off the ground for a while. It's called Bloodhouse. Guess what it's based on?
Yeah, I could hazard a few guesses.
Yeah, it's basically, it's gonna be like a knockoff of Resident Evil 7, but more like Texas Chainsaw type shit than the viral biological shit. Actually, no, it's gonna be like Resident Evil 7, but with actual supernatural shit. Kind of like Alone in the Dark.
Right.
Dude, a first person Alone in the Dark, how do you think that would be?
I mean, in a manner of speaking, the Alone in the Dark game from 2008 does have an optional first-person perspective. You can actually switch between first and third person on the fly.
Speaking of houses and supernatural shit, are they still going to do Devil May Cry this month?
I'm kind of just deciding as I go, like on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah. I still got to upload the Black Ops 7 Zombies video. I mean, hang on, what time is it? In exactly 1 minute, part 1 of my Resident Evil 2 playthrough goes up. Or at least the Leon part. I haven't done the Claire part yet, but I'm going to. Probably after Onimusha 2 goes up. I've been playing not just... I know I said I was going to strictly play Resident Evil between now and February, but I started doing other Capcom releases, because Devil May Cry and Onimusha did spawn from initial attempts to reinvent the Resident Evil series. So I think they're appropriate to do.
I mean, that's fair.
Well, that and I needed to do something else so I didn't get burned out from Resident Evil so fast.
Yeah, don't make my mistake where I played nothing but Resident Evil last summer, and I got burned out by the time I tried to start on Revelations.
You haven't done 7 or 8 on the channel yet, have you?
I have not.
I'm probably gonna do. I might. Do you think it'll be? Do you think it'll be okay or tasteless if I did 7 and 8 back to back?
No, not at all.
Although it's probably gonna be a while before I do the. It's gonna be a while before I do the Shadows of Rose DLC, because when I bought it for PS5, I got the basic standard. I got the standard cross-gen edition. But I can easily buy the gold edition upgrade for it's like $20, I think. I don't know. But I remember thinking, why the hell are they taking so long to reveal Resident Evil 9? And it's like, well, I think a big chunk of that was they were developing both the first person and third person mode separately, not just a straight up camera port like it was in Resident Evil 8 third person mode.
Right.
Because it just feels like, best way to describe it, it's like the gameplay is more, it's like like the original Modern Warfare 2 and 3 when they had third-person team deathmatches. That's what the gameplay felt like. Just basic robotic movements per gameplay. Because all the action was in the first person.
Right.
That's what Resident Evil 8 third-person mode felt like, and they should have put more effort into it. It was that part was just a cash grab.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah.
Hit play.
For fake loan purposes, actual hotels that you could apparently, run as legitimate businesses while simultaneously running one of the largest financial frauds in history. I'm assuming this was to keep a cash flow going so he can keep paying his loan balances. But obviously, he couldn't leave it at that. He also kind of had to go down the normal rabbit hole of buying a bunch of luxury cars, including a Rolls Royce, a Lamborghini, a bunch of custom jewelry, and then he flew around the world in a private jet and frequently took vacations to Panama, where he apparently went to blow off some steam from his stressful job, which, was stealing people's pension money. But he owned a restaurant in Florida, had multiple homes, a boat, and was throwing around money like it was going out of style. Meanwhile, to keep the scam running, Patel had to make it look like the fake borrowers were actually making loan payments. So he used some of that stolen money to send principal and interest payments back to Pennant's investors, creating the illusion that everything was working perfectly. And then also spent about $26 million buying back 3 other fake loans that he previously sold to a different investment firm. Because it was safe to say that people started to get suspicious of him as the whole elaborate scheme started falling apart in September of 2014, when someone at Pennant Management began noticing that things just did not add up. Like, the math was not mathing here. Pennant employees, they were trying to verify some details about First Farmer loans. And then
What was that?
I said, see, you're always going to get caught. No matter how long it goes, no matter how long it goes on for, no matter what you do to try and keep your tracks covered, when it's shit like this, you're always going to get caught one way or another.
Always. Every single time. But these guys got to do it because they just can't help themselves.
It takes just one slip up for that web of lies to completely just unravel. Like when Madison Russo posted that selfie of the quote-unquote cancer port, but it looked nothing like an actual cancer port. And medical professionals saw that shit, and it was equivalent to when that picture of Sarah Kavanaugh went viral, and those medals did not match her DD-214 at all. Yeah. Y'all remember a couple years ago we reacted to that shit? That whole trilogy was That trilogy was a fucking mess.
To say the least.
But his anger was valid.
Yeah. So,
All right.
And
Anyways,
they just
let's
kept
move
running
on.
into dead ends. They couldn't locate certain borrows, they couldn't verify business addresses, and when they started cross-referencing to the USA databases, they discovered that 25 out of the 26 loans weren't even in the government's computer system. And that's when the dominoes really started falling. Because on September 29, 2014, federal agents charged Nikesh Patel with wire fraud and arrested him the very next day. Pennant Management, the company that bought all these fake loans, completely collapsed because of the fraud and shut down its investment advisory business entirely. So it's just hilarious that these TikToks were like, oh, it was nonviolent crime, because sure, it was nonviolent, but he completely destroyed so many lives for what he did. The dude probably couldn't have ruined that many lives even if he went around robbing people at gunpoint, because the human cost was devastating. 42 retirement plans lost money that working Americans had saved for decades. Community banks took massive hits, and municipal governments saw their carefully made investments completely vanish. And these are loans people thought were safe, but, obviously it was just air. There was nothing really backing those loans.
safe. Loan. Pick one.
I'm sorry. The operator of this man's brain is currently out for dinner with his lovely wife.
Exposed, 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 exposed.
Like, you're bringing this shit to bed too?
Hey. You know what? 25 years is lenient. Is lenient compared to what he deserves. If he took that much money and screwed that many people out of their retirement plans...
I'm sorry. I spaced out because my brain was trying to process that. Can you say that again?
If he took that much money and ruined that many retirement plans, 25 years, in my opinion, is too lenient.
Yeah, to put it lightly.
And he's still doing this shit from prison? What the fuck?
It's like Kingpin in Marvel's Spider-Man.
At least the Kingpin, for the most part, is smart enough to keep his tracks covered.
Imagine if the guy was named Bolson. That would make it more ironic.
If the guy was what?
Named Wilson.
I mean...
Because Kingpin's name is Wilson.
Right. Okay.
And again, could be a fake name.
Yeah. Could be.
But this was just the end of the beginning of the story, because after his arrest, Nick hired lawyers and started playing what might be the longest con of his entire career, convincing everyone that he was reformed and just wanting to help all of his victims. So, in December of 2015, a federal grand jury indicted him on 5 counts of wire fraud, each carrying up to 20 years in prison. Initially, he pleaded not guilty, but by December of 2016, he changed his plea to guilty on all counts. And this conviction carried a whopping maximum sentence of 100 years, plus $1.25 million of fines. So, I mean, it was safe to say he was facing some serious time. And the court scheduled his sentencing to be in April of 2017. But that's when Patel's true genius for manipulation really started showing up. Because between February and November of 2017, Patel just kept filing motion after motion asking to please delay his sentencing because he wanted to do some good things. And the judge kept granting his request because Patel claimed that he was working as a consultant on development projects that would generate money back to his victims. The guy was essentially telling the court, hey, I'm sorry I stole $179 million, but if you just give me some more time, I can make some of that money back through legitimate business deals. And I guess for some reason people believed him. So, yeah. In November 2017, Patel filed a motion claiming that he had a unique opportunity to earn an additional $1 million for his victims by working on some kind of redevelopment marketing study, and his lawyers even claimed that the money was already sitting in their trust account.
And by that, he means he was trying to raise money to flee the country. At least that's what I'm assuming.
It's kind of adding up to that, if you ask me.
That is exactly what it smells like. This guy's already on the hook for a massive amount of wire fraud and scamming people out of their hard-earned money, out of their retirement plans. So why wouldn't he also try to manipulate the legal system to try and raise enough money to GTFO?
I mean, I think it's pretty damn obvious he's going to attempt to flee from his bullshit.
At this point in time.
Judging by the video title, he fails miserably.
Yeah, sounds like it to me.
The court-appointed receiver supported the delay because it seemed like a legitimate chance for victims to recover some more funds. And the court just kept granting delays after delays, and finally set up his sentencing for January 9th, 2018. What nobody realized, though, was while Nikesh was supposedly working to help his victims, he allegedly was just perfectly pulling off a whole new fraud scheme. Because while he was out on bond and claiming to be a reformed man helping his victims, Patel was secretly running a whole new fraud operation that was even more sophisticated than his last one. It was like he got caught and he was like, you know what? I can do some adjustments here to make it a little bit harder to get caught next time. So he just ran it back while he was out on bond. I mean, at least the guy's dedicated to his craft. So I know you guys are wondering, okay, what was the new scheme? Well, this time he created fake loan documents claiming that a real bank in Miami was out here making loans to convert rural hotels into assisted living facilities. The bank actually existed, but they had absolutely no idea that their name was being used for, essentially just fictitious multi-million-dollar loans. The dude was printing money out of thin air with other people's names involved. Awesome. So Patel, I guess, invented a fake identity called Ron Elias. But Ron Elias supposedly worked at this Miami bank and was signing on identity called Ron Elias.
I love that he's using the McLovin ID from Superbad.
Dude, do you know how many times in how many times in middle school and high school people used to hand me that in fucking class?
I imagine quite a few.
But it stopped. But it stopped after I gave the last person who gave it to me. I gave him a purple nurple. No one tried it again after that.
Fair enough.
And that was 10 years ago.
Fair enough.
And the teacher saw it and let it slide. Yeah, Mr. Quimby, if you're watching this, you the G.
But Ron Elias
anyways.
supposedly worked at this Miami bank and was signing off on all these loans. He then took these fake loan documents and applied for USDA grants. Again, he just ran it right back at USDA. Oh, man. So he applied to the USDA for guarantees under the same business and industry program that he'd used before, because obviously he was familiar with that. And the USDA, for some reason, once again, agreed to guarantee these fake loans. Patel then sold the guaranteed portions of the Federal Agriculture Mortgage Corporation, Farmer Mac, for $19.3 million. Oh, boy. But here's the most twisted part of all this. He used some of this newly stolen money to make restitution payments for his first fraud scheme. So when the court looked at his financial records, it appeared that he was legitimately earning money to pay back his victims. But in reality, he was just stealing from new victims to pay back the old victims. The dude was running a Ponzi while delaying his sentencing. Again, I mean, at least he's dedicated to his craft. You kind of have to admire that. And of course, things just keep getting worse with this guy.
How does he walk around with balls that huge? Because there is no way. There is no way this guy can actually walk normally. And I say that not because I say that not in a means of praising him. I'm saying that because you almost have to admire the audacity of this motherfucker to get caught, get sentenced, get convicted, and then sentenced, and then prior to sentencing, start pulling the same shit.
What's that one thing that Angry Cops said near the end of that landmine disposal video?
Ooh.
Like, I am humbled by. I forgot how it went.
I am amazed with your stupidity, humbled by your bravery, and not at all surprised by your laziness.
Do you think that can be applied here?
Definitely. Actually,
yeah.
Actually, everything except for the laziness part, because you actually have to expend effort to create the elaborate scam systems that this guy did.
Yeah, that's wild. That's just some.
So at least 2 out of 3.
I'm sorry, what?
So at least 2 out of 3, stupid and brave.
This is like the plot to a canceled Beavis and Butthead episode, where they're trying to get rich quick because they're tired of working at that burger joint.
Yeah, except Beavis and Butthead never would have gotten this far.
You're a stupid dumbass. Ah, help! He's got a boner. Classic clips from Chris's collection.
Yeah. So,
because most of the $19 million, they were not going to the victim's restitution at all. Patel was saving it for something way more ambitious than helping people that he'd robbed. Because 3 days before his January 9th, 2018 sentencing date, FBI agents discovered that Nick wasn't planning to show up to court to face the consequences of his actions. Instead, at 7 in the morning on January 6, 2018, agents observed that Nick and an associate were heading to Kissimmee Gateway International Airport, where they just arrested him because they...
Dude, what did I just say?
Exposed, 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 exposed.
I just fucking said he was going to try to flee the country.
Yeah, he was pulling a pussy bitch move.
He was trying to slither away.
He fucked around and definitely found out the hard way.
Yeah, just hold on.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
Yup.
Jeez.
They found out this wasn't just like some last minute panic. Patel had actually been planning his escape for months. And in his possession, agents found an Indian passport, $20,000 in cash, multiple credit cards, 7 luxury watches, and some kind of white powder. It was never identified what this white powder was in court documents, but I'm sure people can put 2 and 2 together here. And to make things even worse for him, those detailed
No wonder he's making such retarded decisions. He's on booger sugar.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, no wonder he's making such dumb, retarded decisions. He's on booger sugar.
Booger sugar. That just makes me think of that one person who tweeted about their, they tweeted about how their son, like, talking about how she had to take, what was it, a nasal spray? And they called it Mommy's special nose medicine. and the school started an investigation over it.
Oh my god.
Like, bruh. That should about sum up schools in 2025 or the 2020s in general.
Yeah. Honestly, pretty much.
Documents outlining his plan to seek political asylum in South America. But again, it just keeps getting worse because what agents uncovered about the escape plan was Nikesh had spent about $40,000 on a private charter flight to Ecuador and even obtained a fake passport. He even wired $3 million to local bank accounts, lined up $500,000 of luxury cars waiting for him, and rented $1 million house. And on top of that, he also hired a lawyer to guide him through Ecuador's asylum and extradition process. And when agents asked him about it, he said that he also applied for asylum in India, but chose Ecuador specifically because of their extradition laws, basically admitting the whole plan was to avoid facing any real consequences in the United States. And the escape plan also included setting up a new life and bringing his wife and family to join him. Patel was also planning to live off the $19 million he stole while he was out on bond, while also claiming to be a political refugee fleeing persecution. But instead of boarding that private jet to South America that day, Nick found himself in federal custody and his bond revoked, and then he got a one-way ticket back to Chicago to finally face his sentencing. And by the time Patel appeared in a sentencing hearing on March 6, 2018, the court had a much clearer picture of who they were actually dealing with. Initially, Nick's pre-sentence report calculated his offense at a level 42, which included some credit for accepting responsibility and cooperating with authorities. But after his attempted flight to Ecuador, probation officers adjusted his offense level to a 45 by adding points for obstruction of justice and removing the credit for accepting responsibility. I mean, even with a statutory maximum of 20 years per count on his wire fraud charges, Patel's sentencing guidelines stretched from 30 years to life in prison. The judge then sentenced Patel to 25 years in federal prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release, and ordered him to pay $174 million in restitution to his victims, which was essentially every penny he stole plus interest. Nick then tried to appeal in March of 2019, arguing that his 25-year sentence was unreasonable, but the appeals court quickly realized that a guy who stole $179 million and attempted to flee the country and continued committing crimes while out on bond probably deserved exactly what he got. And while Nikesh was...
I disagree. I maintain what I said earlier about 25 years being too lenient.
Way too lenient.
Way too... Guy who ran a financial fraud scheme lies in court. In other breaking news, water wet. But I could have told you this guy was going to try. This guy.
You say that, I think about.
I was going to say I could tell you.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say I could have told you that this guy was going to try to scam more people out of more money and flee the country. And I'm not even a legal expert. I'm just a fat fuck. I'm just a fat sped who plays video games on YouTube. Think, Mark.
I can't even say that's my. I can't even say that's my title, and you're stealing it because, well, I'm a fucking twig for one. But you said something about news water wet, and I was thinking about a few streams back we reacted to that chick who was that Karen who tried to stop the ducks mating.
Oh God.
Imagine being a duck, you finally score, and that shit happens.
Not
even Arkham Asylum would take her, and imagine how foobar you have to be for Arkham Asylum to reject your application.
Right?
What the farm fresh fuck? Yes, I stole it from Chris.
Hey, I stole it from Razor Fist.
Is that where cream chip cunt came?
Cream chip cut. No, that came from Film and Stuff.
What's your reaction to that stuff? Because it's been a while since I've seen anything from Film and Stuff.
Well, that's because he no longer posts on YouTube. He only posts on Subscribestar now.
Why do you leave YouTube though?
Because at the time his reasoning was it was during COVID and he was losing hours at his day job, and YouTube, for whatever reason, limits the amount of ads you can run on a video when there's a lot of profanity in it, unless of course you're Charlie, I guess.
Or James.
Or James Rolfe.
Or at this point, probably, I think we can throw Doug in there too.
Actually, I don't know if Doug Walker swears a lot now or if he doesn't. I know Brad Jones has cut it down quite a bit on his show.
Yeah, because YouTube keeps releasing these bullshit policies and rules.
Yeah, it's like you have a kids app, but you want everybody else on the normal app to be more kid friendly. So it's like, fucking pick one.
Pick one. Or when you do the slow-mo, you did the slow-mo in one of your videos. Pick one.
Right.
I think it was the Creepus Maximus video.
It might have been. It's been a while since I watched any of those riffs. I keep meaning to do more riffs, and it's like there's just too much stupid and not enough time to cover it.
Well, remember, if you ever need a collab, remember, I'm basically always available.
That's true.
I kind of want to do a riffing. I kind of want to do a roasting of Hassan for abusing his dog.
Too easy.
And I realized that I have a shock collar in my pit bull, but I don't use it. I've only had to use the beeping and the vibration. I never really had to actually shock him. Not that I would have actually been able to, because I don't have the balls.
Well, you're also not using your dog as a visual prop for your 4 to 8 hour streams, because you don't stream every day.
Yeah, he has freedom of the apartment as long as he stays on site, because he has a tendency to just randomly lift his tail and shit and piss. But he's getting better at not doing it in the house. Today he literally walked over to the front door, or the harness was hanging off of it. He literally tried to grab it to bring it to me, signaling he needed to go out. So,
well, that's good.
Pit bulls can be trained, motherfucker.
Well, that's good.
And I have not had a single panic attack since we got him, so he's a good boy. Like when he's not in his violent playful modes, he literally just wants to be babied.
Yeah.
I just wish I could take him to the state fair tomorrow, but I can't. Because he has to meet, because when he's around new people, he has to take time to say hi to absolutely everybody, and I don't know who's going to be welcoming of it.
Right.
That and Lily's working, so she said I was told to just take the tickets and go with my friend John. Now I was going to take my kids with us, but according to Lily, Grayson's not going to want to go unless Lily's there because he has separation anxiety from her, which is understandable, so I won't be taking my kids.
Right.
So I wish, Bella's the same way, like she doesn't do well around strangers yet. So that's another one, which it would have been fitting considering today is her 4th birthday and I would have been able to take her for summing tomorrow instead of just a basic happy birthday Facebook post.
Right.
And by that I mean a note on Messenger, because I'm currently deactivated. But in a way, I'm respecting both the kids' boundaries when it comes to certain things, and it's like I don't want to. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I mean, my friend John's a trustworthy guy, and I trust him with my life. But what Lily says goes, and it's not like a control thing. It's a respect thing, and I'm choosing to respect it. Lily is not controlling, so if anyone tries saying that, you can get slapped.
Anyways.
Yeah, anyways, I'll shut up now. Let's move
Sitting
on.
in federal prison, serving his 25-year sentence, prosecutors in Orlando were building a separate case against him for the $19 million fraud he committed while out in bond. So on December 18, 2019, a federal grand jury returned a 13-count indictment against Patel for the scheme involving the fake Miami bank loans. The charge included conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to commit money laundering, and money laundering. And the case took a while to work through all the counts, but on February 28, 2023, Patel pleaded guilty to all 13 counts, and the FBI had managed to recover about $11.3 million out of the $19.3 million that he'd stolen. But Nick was still on the hook for the restitution for the other victims. And I mean, at this point, it's safe to assume that Nikesh Patel had learned his lessons about the consequences of financial fraud. Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Of course
He
not.
is not finished. Because between January 2021 and December 2023, while locked up in federal prison for his previous crimes, he managed to orchestrate, this time, his most insane fraud scheme yet. Nikesh recruited his wife Trisha as an accomplice and used a legitimate business as their front. The business was Precision Powered Products, a commercial pump manufacturer in Houston, Texas. And following Nick's instructions from prison, Trish contacted the USDA claiming to be a senior representative of the pump company. She then told him the company wanted to expand operations into rural Puerto Rico and needed a loan to make it happen. But you know, in very much so this family's fashion, instead of applying for a real loan from a real lender, the Patels created an entirely fake lending company called Community First Mortgage, complete with fake loan officers and fake documentation. They then made it appear that the Community First was providing $8.54 million to fund the Puerto Rico expansion. And again, the USDA agreed to guarantee 80% of this completely fictional loan, and the Patels then sold that guarantee to a financial institution for $7.4 million. So the fake loan was...
Why are you still giving them grants?
Huh?
Why are you still granting these people loans?
There's
What?
no way they're this fucking stupid. There's just no way.
Your taxpayer dollars at work, folks. Mine.
Sorry for disappointing you.
My tax dollars. Money that gets taken out of my checks and given to the federal government.
I'm unemployed and I'm still mad.
Trump cannot abolish taxes fast enough. He just
Really cannot.
Whew. Anyways,
was broken down and sold to multiple
try
smaller
not to-
financial institutions,
try
creating
not
this
to, raise your blood pressure too early.
yeah, try not to turn into Sam Kinison.
complex web of investments, all based on documents
It
that
would be nice
Nikesh
to
was
add to the
creating from his
compilation I'm
prison.
building.
Do what?
So it would be a nice add to the compilation I'm building.
Creating this complex web of investments, all based on documents that Nikesh was creating from his prison cell. And Trisha was actually making monthly loan repayments on the behalf of the fictional borrower to maintain the illusion that everything was legitimate. They're literally running back the same strategy. The payments were coming from the money that she originally received from selling the loan guarantee. So it was essentially just a circle of fake money that kept the scam running for nearly 3 years. The third scheme finally unraveled when investigators started looking into the pump company and realized that their supposed proposed expansion into Puerto Rico was, well, fake. So on May 21st and May 22nd, 2024, both Trisha and Nick Patel pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud and their roles in the scheme. Trisha was then sentenced on September 18, 2024 to 51 months in federal prison. But the real shock came on October 8, 2024, when the judge sentenced Nick Patel to an additional 27 years in federal prison. So that means that Nikesh Patel could serve up to 52 years in federal prison if he doesn't get out on good behavior. And what's a little interesting about
Fuck good behavior. This man programmed his wife. I say like she's a fucking Terminator. This man groomed his wife into being a scammer for him.
That's just fucked.
Now, 52 years is a little bit better than 25. I think they should just bury this prick under the prison.
How old is this guy?
He's at least in his 30s. At least in his early 30s. Well, he was around the time he started this scheme, so for all I know, he could be in his 40s by now.
Well, might as well give him the death sentence.
Yeah.
I mean, life in prison, because that's basically what that is.
Pretty much.
The judge could have made these sentences concurrent, which would have meant that Patel just served them at the same time, but instead, he chose to stack them, making them consecutive, and ensuring that essentially Nick will likely spend the rest of his life behind bars. And the FBI, they managed to only recover about $74,000 in cash and a 2022 BMW X7 from their third scheme, leaving the USDA and 4 financial institutions to absorb most of the $7.4 million loss. The total damage from Patel's 3 fraud schemes is over $200 million, and the victims include retirement plans for teachers, municipal employees, and hardworking Americans who trust their money to conservative investments backed by the US government. Pennant Management, the Milwaukee-based investment firm that bought Patel's first batch of fake loans, went out of business entirely. And 42 retirement plans lost money that regular people had saved for decades. Trisha Patel is currently serving a 51-month sentence, and their family has been completely destroyed by Nick's decade-long crime spree. Timothy Fisher, Patel's original partner and First Farmers Financial, was sentenced to 10 years in prison in order to pay over $27 million in restitution after pleading guilty to money laundering. And as of right now, Nick Patel is 41 years old and serving a sentence at the Federal Correctional Institution in Williamsburg, South Carolina. And assuming he serves his full sentence and lives to the age of 86, he's likely to be released around October 2070. So you may be asking, what's his new scheme? What's the new strategy? Well, I'm not 100% sure it's him, but someone at least is posting TikToks and YouTube shorts, like the one we mentioned earlier that had these 2 pictures in it. And I also found this extremely cursed account called Official Nick Patel, which uploads AI slop content about the situation.
Exposing the shocking truth in Nick Patel's case. How did a man who paid back his loans end up with a sentence 2.5 times longer than his co-conspirator? Follow for part 1 of how the justice system failed Nick Patel.
Okay, so
Fuck you in every hole with every available object within reach.
It's like the AVGN Batman episode. I'm gonna shove these fucking games up your ass.
Just.
Fuck you.
Dirty, stuck-up, sadistic, shit-eating, cock-sucking, butt-fucking, penis-smelling, crotch-grabbing, ball-licking, semen-drinking, dog-raping, Nazi-loving, child-touching, cow-humping, perverted, spineless, heartless, mindless, dickless, testicle-choking, urine-gargling, jerk-offing, horse-face, sheep-fondling, toilet-kissing, self-centered, feces-puking, dildo-shoving, snot-spitting, crap-gathering, big-nose, monkey-slapping, bastard-screwing, bee-shitting, fart-knocking, sack-busting, splooge-tasting, bear-blowing, head-swallowing, bitch-snatching, hand-jobbing, donkey-caressing, mucus-spewing, anal-plugging, hole-grabbing, uncircumcised, sewer-sipping, whoremongering, piss-swimming, midget-munching, douchebag, hoe-biting, carnivorous, mail-order prostituting asshole!
And that's how I feel about Rob Zombie's Halloween duology.
I've been waiting for an excuse to fire that clip up.
That's the best insult ever.
It is. I even have it marked down in my clips folder as best insult ever.
I said that with no error to someone in high school once, and everyone thought it was original. It's like all you have to do is look up Nostalgia Critic to know it's not my insult.
Yeah.
From all the research
I'm good,
that-
but not that good.
Right?
I've done and everything we've gone through in this video, I would say this seems a bit misleading, to put it lightly, but his next video might just be peak AI slop, because this is the sloppiest of AI slop I've seen in my entire life.
Donald Trump has always been vocal about prison reform. Remember when he said this?
Everybody deserves a second chance. We've seen too many cases of unfair sentencing, and we're working to fix that. We've pardoned great people, people who were wrongfully convicted or served their time and deserve a fresh start.
Trump has the power to change lives. Will he do it for Nick Patel? Follow for updates.
Pardoning people who were unfairly branded insurrectionists and hold without trial, without legal counsel, and without true just cause for 4 years is not the same thing as being as okay. The people who were arrested for their participation in January 6th are not the same as a malicious con man. You fucknut.
Yeah, I seriously doubt Trump would pardon this asshole.
No. Dude,
I'm pretty sure Trump won't pardon that dipshit Diddy.
Dude, I remember it was sometime earlier this year. Andrew Tate thought that he could plea for Trump to pardon him, because somehow he and his brother got their travel restrictions temporarily lifted so they could travel to Florida and then to Vegas, and before they had to BTFO back to Romania. And Ron DeSantis was just like, yeah, no, you're not welcome in Florida. Get the fuck out. We're launching an investigation into you.
Holy shit. Politician did something right.
Besides, I seem to recall Trump suggesting overhauling the legal system and making it so that human trafficking is a capital offense punishable by death. So I don't think Andrew Tate wants to come to the States and plea his case.
I was about to say it's not punishable by death yet. That's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, just I believe bar none refers to them as wood chipper Americans.
Are you talking about that YouTuber who sits in his truck and does these videos?
Yeah.
I haven't seen one of his videos in a while.
Yeah, I've been rewatching a bunch of old stuff lately, but actually, I mean, earlier today I started binging Marble Hornets.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah. I my respect for Barnum was solidified when he made that video defending that girl who was being bullied, and he said, listen, I'm not against bullying sixth graders. If I start dropping names, the gang will hunt them down. And it's like, Jake, you might want to reword that. Because, well, a grown man bullying a sixth grader is probably going to go on certain areas.
Yeah, just ask vegan gains.
Are you talking about that shit who tried to end Beyond Zero, the fucking mukbanger who ate live animals?
Yeah, him. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Yeah, the dipshit who gave his cat a vegan diet, even though it's literally animal abuse.
And now my dog's getting a little rowdy.
I think your dog's agreeing with me.
Now, give me a second, chat. I will be right back.
Yeah, my pit bull does the same.
Really? That's what you're barking at? Mr. UPS guy? Usually when he's barking, that's nothing important. Now, this time, he actually was barking for a good reason. He was letting me know the UPS guy was here.
Letting you know what?
Do what?
He was letting you know what?
He was letting me know the UPS guy was here.
Good boy.
Yeah, with my Amazon delivery.
I was about to say, remember, you're not my dad, so by all means, go ahead.
With my my complete series Blu-ray set of Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, fuck yeah. I've been binging that on HBO Max.
I canceled Max a while back. Just
yeah, I know
because,
how you are about streaming.
Yeah, just because fucking David Zaslav removing all of Cartoon Network shit off of there. Probably so that he doesn't have to pay the voice actors.
Yeah, the Beast Boy voice actor got canceled after being diagnosed with, forgot what it was, but he was diagnosed with something, and Warner Bros.
It was Parkinson's.
That's always a fucking dipshit.
It's almost like
There's no other way to put it. He's a fucking dipshit.
I mean, it's almost like David Zaslav is trying to speed run any percent. See how quickly he can fuck up Warner Brothers before Bob Iger destroys Disney more than he already has.
So far, he went.
I mean,
the 25.
You're cutting in and out again.
I said, look at the 2025 mess that is Superman.
Ugh. Super shit.
To put it mildly.
Never has a line of dialogue been a more appropriate description of the movie it's in.
Yeah, didn't they basically waste Green Lantern?
The only character who wasn't completely wasted in that movie was Lex Luthor. It's like, how are you going to make Superman a side character in his own fucking movie? James Gunn.
Sounds like Godzilla and Godzilla vs. Kong, X Kong.
I mean, James Gunn trying not to make a movie about an ensemble. Difficulty impossible.
Yeah.
Sad thing is,
James Gunn's always been a dipshit, if you ask me.
The sad thing is, I've actually liked movies that James Gunn has written. I liked Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. I haven't seen 3 yet. he wrote the Scooby-Doo movies with Matthew Lillard and Freddie Prinze Jr. I really liked those movies. He wrote Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. That was my introduction to zombie movies.
The third Guardians of the Galaxy isn't that great.
But people trying to say the new Superman is better than Man of Steel. It's like I rewatched Man of Steel recently. Superhero movies used to have aura, and they just haven't for like the last 5-6 years.
I was gonna say 10, but okay.
Well, that too.
Honestly, they start going downhill for me. They start going downhill for me when the Joss Whedon cut of Justice League came out.
That was sad because I actually tried to be lenient towards that one. But then the Snyder cut came out and I was just like, yeah, this is inexcusable.
Yeah. Another big fuck you to Warner Brothers for not giving Zack Snyder time to mourn his daughter who just fucking died, you insensitive assholes.
No, they thought their annual bonuses were more important.
Like I said, assholes.
Fuck them. Well, now thanks to their hubris, Warner Brothers is now in danger of being bought out by who the fuck even knows. Is it going to be Netflix? Is it going to be Paramount?
I heard one of them is Paramount.
Paramount's in the running. I know Netflix is also in the running, which, I mean, Snyder's been doing a shit ton of stuff for Netflix for the last several years, so...
I personally hope it's Paramount because, well, I really don't want to get Netflix.
Yeah, and I don't blame you, because Netflix is really dicey.
Yeah, I lost respect for Netflix. I lost respect for Netflix after the whole cuties thing.
The only reason
Admittingly, I still watch Cobra Kai when I could, but I'm sorry, what?
The only reason I even still have Netflix is because I know there's original shows on there that my mom likes watching.
Yeah, I remember when me and Lily first met, her and her sister wrote me into watching Hemlock Grove. Because back then, Lily had a thing for werewolf shit.
I mean, you like what you like. But anyways...
I'm Team Edward all the way. No, I'm just kidding.
But anyways...
Anyways.
Right, if he said that, why didn't they just use the clip of him saying that? But there's so much more.
You've heard the headlines, scammer, fraudster, mastermind. That's how the media wants you to see Nick Patel. But what if the story you've been fed isn't the full truth? Nick's case has been buried for years, hidden from public view. Why? Because the truth threatens the system. They needed someone to take the fall. And Nick? He was the easy target. Is it because he's Indian American? Because he didn't have the right connections?
You dare? You dare pull the fucking race card?
That's retarded.
You have smoked yourself retarded.
We're talking Neff's son retarded.
And if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like you're not retarded at all? And if you close your eyes...
Were your parents related before they were married?
First cousins. Calling in now. His parents were first cousins.
Yeah, I like how. And that's what solidifies our friendship because we basically have the same humor. Most of the time, he adds to it.
Yeah. Although sometimes I can be really extra.
What's wrong with being extra?
Not a damn thing.
You're goddamn right.
This isn't justice. This is silence, power, and control. So ask yourself, who's really guilty here?
Probably the guy convicted of stealing roughly $200 million. But there's more.
Nick Patel's love isn't just for his family. It's for communities around the world. He's not just successful, he's making success possible for others. He's traveled across countries, bringing clothes, school supplies, and food to orphanages, giving young girls a chance at a better future. But why does he do it?
Okay, I mean, I can't...
This didn't work for Andrew Tate either, you fucking chode.
I always lose it at chode.
Yeah, why? Yeah. Tate has tried this. He's pretty much just a lolcow now.
You know who else is a lolcow? Boogie.
Boogie, Wings, Review Tech USA.
Talking about Wings of Redemption?
Yeah.
I haven't heard about that motherfucker in a long time.
Oh.
Yeah, wasn't there like a thing where him and Boogie were gonna fight?
They actually did fight. I think Wings won.
Well, if Boogie wasn't such a manipulative fat bastard.
I mean, they're both manipulative fat fucks.
I just can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man.
I mean, I used to laugh my ass off at Boogie when I was a kid, but nowadays it's like, what happened to you, man?
Boogie's one of those YouTubers I never heard about until he did some fuck shit.
Really, almost 20 years you didn't hear about him till the cancer thing?
I don't know if it was the cancer thing. I think it was something else. Maybe when he discharged his firearm on a
oh yeah,
at a troll. Maybe that was when I heard of him, but couldn't tell you.
Yeah, that's what you call a negligent discharge, and that's what his parents should have named him after he was born.
Moving on.
Tell if this account is
let's just go.
Someone in his camp, an odd parody, or like some weird fanboy. It's hard to say. And the most recent one, which is this one,
using your children to drum up sympathy just makes you look like a flaming cock.
That's weaponized cringe.
Which, by the way, Andrew, they tried that too, and it hasn't fucking worked yet.
Wait, Andrew Tate has kids?
Unfortunately, yes.
Beep, beep, beep. Leon, what is it? Hunnigan, I'd like to report a problem. Leon, we've been over this. This is not pertaining to your mission. Get the fuck off the line and find Ashley. Beep, beep. Bitch.
I don't know what they're trying to go at here. Like, what's the point they're trying to make here? Like, imagine going from a private jet that you paid for with people's pensions, then you got caught. I mean, yeah, that's what happens. Like, the internet is honestly quite the fascinating place. But I mean, hey, at least he didn't claim that he was Jesus's best friend and could bring back people from the dead like this guy did, who scammed $50 million from everyday Americans, which is honestly just an insane story I would heavily recommend checking out here. And if it doesn't appear here, it'd be in the pinned comment down below. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Subscribe if you're new, drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
And now we move to Razor Fist. The slow motion implosion.
That took up a good chunk of the stream, didn't it?
Do what?
That took up a good chunk of the stream, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Oh well, let's move on.
The slow motion implosion of Electronic Arts.
You may have caught the skinny this past
I'm
week for
gonna
the
love this
decades-long, unblemished commitment to incompetence has at long last culminated in the collapse and sale of the once insuperable Electronic Arts. It's the longest-running comedy of error since post-10th season Simpsons, only in this case the jokes are running the company, which is also why modern EA has the longest, deadliest punchlines since Jonestown. But it gets better. After interminable, tortuous decades of world-rending wokeification, after Lady Dongs in Dragon Age, Sapphic sniper amputees in Battlefield, and McDonald's commercial Mass Effect, Electronic Arts, the company characterized by corpo commie cringe, finds itself purchased by a joint venture organized by Saudi Arabian investors and Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of Donald J. Trump. Friends, countrymen, let us rant.
You could not write that. You could not write the irony better. You could not make it up if you sat down and tried.
Yeah.
Look, you know Schadenfreude is my love language, but I'll be brutal.
Very much.
Look, you know Schadenfreude is my love language, but I'll be brutally honest here. I'm infinitely less interested in finger flipping or chair spinning about a buyout I predicted as early as the launch of Faggot Age 2 or Mass Effect Pandromeda than I am in analyzing exactly how the corpse of the corpos in question wound up.
Did he just say Faggot Age 2?
Yes.
Well, that escalated very fucking quickly. Not homophobic, but that escalated quickly.
He's a 40-year-old libertarian from Phoenix. What do you expect?
Honestly, not that, but
who
that makes it a little bit more. I don't know. It's just I never heard that before.
Who bleeds westerns and pisses Bronson. So, speaking of westerns, wasn't there like a feud between John Wayne and Eastwood? I don't know if it was a feud. It was just the fact that John Wayne had a very specific philosophy on how Western movies should be, and he did not like the Westerns that Eastwood was doing in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, the darker, grittier ones.
Yeah, because John Wayne's Westerns, which I personally like some of his Westerns, but they painted a very idealistic portrait of the American frontier in the Old West. The Westerns that Eastwood was in, starting with the Italian stuff, the spaghetti Westerns, were more realistic. They were a more honest portrayal of the Old West. And they were almost like a deconstruction of the Westerns that John Wayne had built his career on. So obviously John Wayne has a very specific perspective on how Western films should be, and did not hold the Eastwood version in high regard, which is a shame because I think both approaches to the Western have their place.
You know, True Grit is one of my favorite movies, both the original and the remake.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, True Grit's amazing.
I mean, I like the remake. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like both, but I prefer the original more.
And that's fair. I saw the remake first, so I'm a little biased, but I think both versions have their place.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Yep.
Pandromeda than I am in analyzing exactly how the corpse of the corpos in question wound up on a slab with a shiny new toe tag. After doing this for a decade and change, I realize a fair few of you may be coming in late, so allow me to assure you, it's a secret more open than Will Smith's marriage, but EA has been beleaguered longer than it takes Yongya to pronounce the word beleaguered. Sure, crapping all over mid-2010s EA's about as hard as finding a douchebag at a Bad Bunny concert, but when you really whip out the Sherlock Holmes lookety-glass, the signs of subsidence were evident even in the early 2000s under a now infamous figure known as Don Matrick. Yes, friends, the Oppenheimer caliber intellect who crapped out the Kinect and ended Xbox's pitifully brief dominance of the console market in a single circle jerk is also the man who presided over the earliest days of the EA apocalypse. On the surface, that
the same guy who presided over the Xbox One reveal.
Yeah, I don't need to be reminded of that fucking mess.
A reveal so disastrous, Microsoft is still paying for it 12 years later.
Well, I'll give them this. They still did a better job with the backwards compatibility than PlayStation did.
That is true.
But that's about the only good they did.
Yeah. Looked shinier than Gavin Newsom's veneers, though. Annual sports titles, some of which were superb, movie tie-ins such as the samey but excellent Lord of the Rings titles and the spectacular Star Wars Battlefront, and all of which were...
Let's not forget some of the most kick-ass James Bond games to ever hit the market came out during the EA era. World Is Not Enough for the N64, Agent Under Fire, Nightfire, Everything or Nothing, and From Russia with Love on the GameCube and PS2.
You see, I think of early EA, and I think about the Lord of the Rings movie games.
Right? They also had some pretty good Harry Potter games around the...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I have vast memories of playing the Prisoner of Azkaban game with my siblings.
Dude, the Prisoner of Azkaban game was so friggin' good.
And around that time, I had to skip the Chamber of Secrets game because of Aragog. But nowadays, I look at Aragog and here's the bitch puppet spider.
Yeah, I actually did play the Chamber of Secrets game.
I remember I used to get severe anxiety during the parts where in the Prisoner of Azkaban game when you had to drag someone away from a Dementor.
Those I could have done without those segments.
I had to have help to get past the one where you're at the lake and you have to drag them away.
Oh yeah.
But other than those clusterfucks, it actually wasn't a bad game at all.
Yeah. My favorite thing about it was being able to switch between Harry, Ron, and Hermione on the fly. And how
I think that was I'm sorry, what?
And how they had puzzles specifically tailor-made for that mechanic.
Yeah, I also think about how because that game came out in like 2004, and I just think about how that predates the Telltale Lego games by Traveler. Actually, I think it's Traveler Tales who dominate the Lego video games market.
Couldn't tell you.
But that predates the Lego video games by 1 year because the first one that Traveler Tales did was the first Lego Star Wars game, which was the prequel trilogy. And, in those Lego games, you can basically switch on the fly, too.
I don't know. The only Lego game I've ever played was the Indiana Jones trilogy. So
Are you talking about the first one from like 2008?
yeah.
Yeah. That's the only Lego game besides Lego Batman that I've actually beat 100%. And you know what happens when you beat 100%? It starts raining studs for infinity at the university. And it's like, what am I going to do? And you can only, and there's a limit on how many studs you can actually hold. And, you know, and in Lego Star Wars, it's 4 billion. So I imagine for the other Lego games, it's probably 4 billion there too.
Mm.
I miss the old video game market.
I mean, there's a reason I'm pretty much sticking with predominantly retro stuff.
Well, back then, those video games actually had heart and soul put into them.
Well, yeah, because shareholders weren't running the companies. Now it's guys in slick suits who are not driven by creativity. They're driven by metrics and bullshit.
Greed.
Yeah. So anyways.
Yep.
Printing money like Ben Bernanke on bath salts. But by the time he retired in 2007 and sallied off to murder Microsoft, EA had the reputational integrity of a nun with a tramp stamp. Sure, he bought BioWare, and the lone release prior to his departure, the excellent Mass Effect 1, is arguably the lone unqualified success since the studio was purchased. Yes, I love Mass Effect 2 and Dragon Age Origins, but the former was a lesser linear effort compared to the original, and the latter had more bugs than a Magic Johnson blood sample. But while headwinds may have whirled during the Don Matrick regime, it wasn't until the John Riccitello 2.0 regime that things truly started to blow. John Riccitello, when he isn't peering into the horizon with a leaden-eyed, soul-bereft stare solely possessed by video game executives, government employees, and serial killers with a crawl space full of Cub Scout corpses, actually boasted an impressive resume, believe it or don't. A journeyman executive hopping his happy ass from Haagen-Dazs to Sara Lee to the Pepsi Corporation, and even from 97 to 2004, Electronic Arts itself. But if Riccitello's first run in the 90s was marked by mammoth success, such as Command & Conquer, Lord of the Rings, Madden, and FIFA, the Riccitello reunion tour of 07 was an abortion so brazen the entire company contracted a haunted vagina, made monumentally more awful by the fact that it didn't originally start that way, with EA having degenerated into a suck-ass sports and sequel factory. Upon his ascension as CEO in 07, Riccitello not only greenlit the new shit, for the most part, it was really damn good new shit. It was this period in EA's history that saw the release of Cyberpunk Parkour Paperboy ripoff Mirror's Edge, exceptional stealth sandbox game The Saboteur, and perhaps most impressively of all, the underwear-shittingly scary sci-fi horror of Dead Space.
Not to mention Dragon Age Origins and Brutal Legend.
Dragon Age and what?
Dragon Age Origins, the first Dragon Age game, was released under Riccitello's Riccitello running EA. And
Dead Space is underrated as fuck.
And Brutal Legend was released under Riccitello.
Yeah, that's where decapitation comes from.
Oh, great. There's a dog yapping outside, and it's pissing Duke off. Anyways. I'll be back in a minute. Again. thing I appreciate about Duke is all I have to say is, do I have to tell Mama you're being bad?
Yeah, he straightens the fuck up.
Yeah. So, moving on.
That's like
that with
that's
the
like
only-
when I tell Beef, I gotta get Grandpa.
Scary sci-fi horror of Dead Space. Couple that with the only decent Mass Effect sequel, and it all looks happier than a handjob factory. The problem? With the exception of Mass Effect and Dead Space, those games lost more money than the Pentagon. Indeed, the emblematic event of the Richitello regime was in 2014. After tendering his resignation, his rival and galactic emperor of Activision, Bobby Kotick, jibed that he would have happily paid for Richitello to remain CEO forever. I repeat, my dude got dunked on by Beelzebubby Kotick.
The judge of management.
How badly do you have to shit the bed when you're getting dunked on by an Epstein Island regular, allegedly?
Yeah, I made a lot of jokes over the years about Epstein Island. I don't think I should make any more.
But yeah, Bobby Kotick, former CEO of Activision, was allegedly an Epstein Island regular.
Well, shit. Shit, a lot of them were.
Unfortunately.
Is when you keep winning. Activision did this to EA, and EA looks like this tired company being led by, non-founder energy. And while you and Brian kept running stuff, EA turned to, somebody else that they should have known better. Brought in a CFO they should have known better, and it was kind of the no talent, no good acquisition.
The Richitello era was like watching the docking of the Hindenburg in slow motion. Everyone knew it was going up. We were just waiting on that one errant lightning bolt to flambe the dogshit dirigible. And initially, perhaps carried by the prior momentum of their independent RPG studio origins, companies like Pandemic and BioWare brought us some bangers. The problem was, they couldn't follow up for shit, and one after another the lightning strikes fell like the fist of an angry god. Pandemic Studios was shit-canned before the Saboteur even launched. Smash hit Mass Effect 2 was followed up with the Olympian abortion, Mass Effect the Turd, and the self-same scenario would recur when the damn good Dragon Age Origins preceded the worst sequel since Vatican II.
So a lot of people, when they played the combat in Dragon Age Origins, they weren't really getting that kind of sense of getting into the heart of battle. So we went at a point, we have one motto on the team in terms of combat, and that's when you press a button, something awesome has to happen. So Button Awesome connected now in Dragon Age 2.
I mean, sure, Dragon Age Inquisition was a...
So, their philosophy was to dumb it down for the broskies who weren't going to play Dragon Age in the first place.
Basically. This is Neil Cuckman levels of stupid.
Actually, no, hold up. Here's the clip I want to use.
You're serious? Hey, I can be stupid too.
baby step in the right direction, but when the game's cast was appealing as a tarantula on a slice of angel food cake, who the hell cares? Besides, by this point, after Mass Effect's sudden schizophrenic fit and big freaking drill simulator Dead Space 3...
What we're about to see here is one of our all-new, thrilling, epic moments. This one takes place with this giant freaking drill. And we really spent a lot of time making sure the pulping was super awesome. Because I like saying the word pulping, just it's freaking cool. So we did it, and it's awesome.
Dude, my guy.
How does the inside of your colon smell? Because you're pretty fucking far up there.
I have no idea.
Baby steps weren't going to cut the cocaine, folks. Sure, Madden made money, and Mexicans would fire FIFA into their veins if they sold it in syringe form, but original IPs? were damn near dead. The Mirror's Edge sequel was better than the original and sold 2 entire copies, while Dragon Age became the hit that never hit again. And
So Mirror's Edge is not a sequel, it's actually a reboot. Or Mirror's Edge Catalyst was a reboot.
Yeah.
But he is right. It was I liked the original Mirror's Edge, but Catalyst was an improvement.
I've only played Catalyst.
That's fair.
Sold 2 entire copies, while Dragon Age became the hit that never hit again. And CEO John Riccitello's only answer was making money with the microtransaction method. Indeed, on one famous stockholder phone call, John audibly suggested charging the steadily dwindling Battlefield player base $1 to reload their gun, which, to be fair, is still better than modern ammo prices. My best abiding real-world example is a retail company I worked for at one time, where after many quarters of colossal growth, suddenly in the earliest days of what would soon be called the Great Recession, our business slowed. While the employees on the ground could see the issue was that fewer people were walking into the store, the front office's answer was to command us to hard sell product to our dwindling consumer base. Problem being, while that helped us pop a number in the shorter term, as the fewer and fewer customers who had been walking into the store caught on to the fact that every time they darkened our doorway, they walked out spending twice as much as they initially intended, even they soured on our store and stopped showing up. John Riccitello's answer to EA's implosion was to milk the merry shit out of an already eroding consumer base and brag about it in interviews as he did so. EA was in outright free fall, and it was around this time that the company came down with a case of the commies. Indeed, contrary to popular appraisals by hacky AI-voiced YouTube essays, it was only after the John Riccitello regime that they went from hiring interns to interns and from Electronic Arts to liberal arts. John Boy bounced after EA's checks started doing the same. In came Aussie Andrew Wilson to take his place to enact a player-first strategy that sure looked an awful lot like slapping a different name on an EA Origin service that sucks rolling fields of phallus under any eponym. Andrew Wilson's first major release was Anthem, the biggest bomb since Severny Island.
Oh.
Yeah, Anthem sucked. It was unplayable at launch.
I remember the videos just blow-torching Anthem alive when it launched.
I mean, for good reason. The game didn't want to fucking work the way it should have.
Although, you know, I remember everybody thinking Anthem was the biggest flop in gaming history, and then along came Concord.
Concord.
That is, you know what? However bad EA fucks up in the next few years, at least they can say they did not make Concord.
About the only thing they got going for them.
Yeah. Sony, on the other hand, it's like, gee, I wonder why they're planning on moving their game development back to Japan if Heretic ends up, if Ghost of Yotei and Heretic end up flopping.
Well, supposedly Ghost of Yotei is a hit despite the major boycotting.
I mean, honestly, they never should have taken
I'm not gonna.
Honestly, Sony never should have moved game development out of Japan in the first place.
Yeah, they do it a lot better than us Americans. Let's be real.
Because when there was at least a Japanese development team for Sony, yeah, a lot of the games they put out were weird, but at least they were cool ideas. They were interesting ideas.
And they actually work.
Versus everything they've put out since the PS3 era it's like every single game just has to be Sad Dad HBO drama simulator. And it's like if you like,
put it mildly,
and it's like if you like The Last of Us, more power to you, but it ain't that good of a game. It really is not. Neither is the second one.
Yeah, the second one was. I have nothing nice to say about the second one.
The only things about the second one that worked for me were the combat and the voice acting, and that's it. But that's not enough.
Not to mention, there's more to a game. Not to mention, there's more to a game than its looks.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's a very pretty game, but as we all learned from Avatar, pretty doesn't mean quality.
We talking about the movie or the recent video game?
We're talking about the movie. We're talking about the James Cameron movies. Because, yeah, they're pretty movies to look at, but damn if you can remember a single detail about the narratives from either one.
I still think the movies would be doing a lot better if they weren't released so far apart.
Well, it's because James Cameron's got a James Cameron.
That's one way to put it.
It's like that South Park bit. James Cameron doesn't do what James Cameron does for James Cameron. James Cameron does what James Cameron does because James Cameron is James Cameron.
Pretty much.
So...
And so commenced the dilatory tailspin from 2013 to 2024. And so here we sit, watching the same EA, bashed in a boardroom Bolshevism of the left coast corporate persuasion, whose games have more genders than features, now owned by Trump's son-in-law, and Saudi Arabia, where every rooftop doubles as a high dive for homos. Whatever the future brings for the actively imploding EA, it's my sincere hope you've all taken a beat to pause, process, and fully appreciate the poetry of this past week, because Shakespeare couldn't craft a sonnet this profound. Which is apropos to the topic, as to this point, EA is about the only entity other than Shakespeare who's employed more women with wangs. Will it improve the company? Probably not, but be honest. Is a Saudi oil baron making an American military shooter any worse than a gaggle of anti-gun socialist Swedes boning the Battlefield franchise at present? Sure, I'm not over the moon about Battlefield burqa editions, but I say we make like a homosexual in a cage and let him cook. I'm Razor Fist. Godspeed.
Bro.
God damn.
Poorest person at EA, the gender reveal party planner. Oh.
Godspeed.
I hereby declare that I am non-binary. I am neither fist nor foul. Okay. Oh, God. Oh, God. Why does the Seinfeld music work so well?
So, I'm non-binary.
Even more appropriate, it was the rock that we used in your old
What does
videos.
that mean? That means I don't feel like a man or a woman.
Let's just take a minute to just...
Oh, Lord almighty.
Yeah, what's the actual... Hey, don't chew on that fucking pillow.
So now we jump over to...
Yeah, what in the actual...
Now we jump over to American Thor, where we have an update on a boxing match between Princess Azuli and the hookah hobbit Ali Singh.
Oh my God.
Two fake alpha male gurus who are so low T that they can't be in a room together unless they can't stand to be in a room together unless they're punching each other.
So like Rogan and Stern.
I would actually watch Rogan and Stern.
Yeah, fuck Howard Stern. He basically bullied an actress into suicide.
Yeah, I would actually watch Joe Rogan kick the shit out of Howard Stern.
Well, Joe Rogan's not a piece of shit.
Yeah. As far as I know, Ali Singh's not the convicted sex offender. He is a fake alpha male, though. He is another one of these online scam gurus.
Chronically Online, basically.
Yeah, so.
Let's just take a minute to just soak and digest in the physique of a man with a body of steel, as Ali would say. He's ready.
Where should I fight him? Where should I kick his ass? You know, and we'll go from there. Let's check it out. Yeah.
So yes, watching these two Middle Eastern convenience store final bosses battle it out to see who's the toughest of them all is going to be fantastic, in my opinion. But
I don't know why I was thinking his last name was Singh, but no, it's Ali Sob.
Oh, well.
welcome back to American Thor, everybody, and I am excited for this one because, as it turns out, the beef between the Prince of Gotham himself, King Hide Your Kids Azuli, and Ali the Hookah Hobbit Soap is back on, to the point where these two are, of course, talking shit about each other, but they're also getting ready to schedule a pro boxing debut. You can't make this up. So we're going to go through all this shit talk back and forth, and what we're also going to do, we're going to analyze this potential fight, all right? Strengths, weaknesses, and we're going to give our actual estimate who we think is going to come out on top of this boxing match in Dubai or wherever they're going to have it. All right, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel.
I don't know who's going to win, but I know who's going to lose. Everybody who watches it. Because as far as I can tell, neither of these guys has formative fight training.
Somehow I was fucking muted. I said, yeah, basically.
Let's jump into it. Let's take a little trip down memory lane for those of you who may not be caught up. And this beef has been going on for a while, and y'all may remember this clip.
I don't give a fuck who you are if you're going to disrespect my religion. You hear me?
Ali, you're a nice guy.
All right, quick pause breakdown. I mean, look at this. Both tiny. Ben Azuli has some of the smallest legs you'll ever see. So does Ali as well. But I would say just looking at them side by side here, I actually do think Ali has the size advantage over Ben.
But you're not speaking to somebody that will just let you speak this way, you know?
Ben Azuli learned everything about being a man from watching Steven Seagal movies. I think you're muted again.
I didn't even reply yet. I was about to say, huh?
Because the way he just talked, that is pretty much how a Seagal character speaks. Doesn't speak like a normal person. He talks like a character in a parody of action movies. A bad parody of action movies.
Basically.
Like, he talks like that off-brand Schwarzenegger from The Simpsons. That's... Or if you watch The Critic, like any parody of a Schwarzenegger or Stallone movie. That's how he talks. He doesn't talk like a normal person.
Hold on a second. I gotta get something out of my dog's mouth.
Uh-oh. Dude, the amount of times that I've caught Duke grabbing something from my laundry basket and running into the other room with it just because he wants attention.
Yeah, well, there's bits and pieces of destroyed toys all over my room. And occasionally I'll catch him chewing on a small piece and it's like, are you trying to fucking choke, you little dipshit? It turns into that one scene from King Kong. You know, ripping open the dinosaur's jaw.
Right.
Like, and he fights me too. But in the end, I'm stronger than him. And at the same time, I'm trying to be gentle.
Yeah. I do find what Nate comments about their leg size to be pretty. Isn't it just amusing how all of these fake alpha male guys, they're juiced because they inject all the steroids into their biceps and into their upper body to make them look bigger, but then their legs are pretty much suing their upper bodies for malsupport. They always look like that cartoon caricature of a bodybuilder. Like if you've ever seen those old Looney Tunes cartoons where a bodybuilder will come through the door, they've got that huge upper body just jacked to the fucking gills, and then their body goes into it's like an upside down triangle, and their body just shrinks down to their waistline, and it's like they got these little bitty fucking chihuahua legs going.
Why,
That's how these guys look, and it's like, dude, if you're going to make yourself look, if you're going to inject shit into your body to make it look jacked, at least have the decency to bring some balance to the force. It's like you.
Hang on, this motherfucker tried to eat a penny.
Or just make gains naturally. You look like a retard. And this
I need
is coming
this to pay bills.
And this is coming from a fat fuck.
Hey, I just ate a whole pizza. I'm the fat fuck. Anyway, sorry, I had to keep my dog from choking on a fucking penny.
Yeah, but you don't weigh 245 at 5'8". So
I want to say I'm 140, 130, 140 at best.
So
What the fuck are you gonna do about it? I'm not gonna let you speak to me the way you want to speak to me.
Ali, if you have a personal problem with me, forget religion. Put religion aside.
You know what? This shit, bro. What the fuck you talking about?
Ali.
Of course, as we saw, right?
I love how clearly staged it is.
You know what? This shit, bro. What the fuck you talking about?
Ali.
Like, he's gonna get up and do something. And it's like, he just happened to get up at the right speed, get up from his chair. Ali just happened to stand up the right speed. He just happened to walk slowly enough for the guy to interfere. And Azuli just happened to be moving at the speed of a sloth on IV Thorazine.
Damn.
It's like, could this get any more staged?
I was gonna say, can this get any more retarded? But that works too.
Fringe. Of course, as we saw, right? Ali was the only one who stood his ground as Benazuli ran away. We all remember this. So, of course, we all remember that, but that wasn't the end of the beef because it is re-sparked as they're going back after each other on their Instagram pages. Let's look at this back and forth. All right, we got the hookah hobbit out on his balcony as usual when he likes to get real deep or call people out.
All right, guys, Mr. Ben Ozoli has accepted my challenge to fight.
You know, there's a ton of beta males out there that's trying to fight me. But finally, I found a man that is actually willing to back up his I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of proud of Ali. Because he already knows he's going to get his ass whooped. It looks like we might be doing this in Dubai. It's going to be big, arena, pay-per-view. Let's get it. I'm ready.
Big pay-per-view fight for two guys who the majority of the population has never fucking heard of. Yeah, sure. Sure.
Real fucking moneymaker.
Yeah, sure. This totally isn't a stunt for you two to just completely boost yourselves in the algorithm when you aren't busy buying bot accounts to make it look like you have more followers than you actually do.
Yeah.
So we're this close to making a deal with a promoter in Dubai in the next couple of months. It's not cemented yet. We're also talking to a couple of people also in the United States too, so if we're going to keep it here. Well, Mr. Ben accepted. Cool. Awesome. So remember, Mr. Ben, you started this. You said you can beat me in a podcast, you can beat me in a fight, you can beat me in the gym. So you're still licking your wound from the podcast. And oh my God, what I'm going to do to you. Once I...
What man outside of pro wrestling says this about and to another man?
Gay!
Seems gay to me, bro.
It's pretty gay, bro. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, if that's who you are, that's fine.
Just miss me with that shit.
Oh.
Hey, I got gay friends who say that other gay people shouldn't make it their entire personality.
Agreed. Very much agreed.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Like, be who you are. Just don't make it don't be James Charles.
It's not a personality trait.
You know, James Charles' brother won't talk to him because he kept calling his brother sister and he didn't like it, but James wouldn't listen, kept doing it.
Okay, that's just fucking creepy.
I don't even think PewDiePie likes him anymore.
I wouldn't blame him.
So yes, there you go, guys. They're scheduling it in Dubai. Massive pay-per-view. Biggest fight of the century because these two megastar celebrities have that type of pull for sure. I'll tell you guys, I actually probably would buy this pay-per-view myself, not to watch it for real boxing entertainment, but for the comedic entertainment of watching two essentially middle school girls get into a cat fight in the ring. But we have to kind of take a look at who could potentially actually win this thing. But before we do that, let's watch some of the most recent, as of yesterday, shit talk back and forth.
Oh.
Nice edit for a nice guy. But you didn't understand what I meant when I said nice. Nice, if you look up the word, it means clueless, ignorant, dumb. That's what I meant. I'm gonna punch you so hard and knock you out the first round that this Jew power is going to convert your ass. Don't ever fucking forget that.
You see that speed bag skill at the end? Looks like he's jerking off two men at the same time. Hell yeah, he's got the moves. He's got the skill. So is Ben got the talent, got the ability to take down Ali Soba? Well, Ali also responded back.
I was working on this, and the biggest thing is right now where the fight should be. You know, why don't you guys help us out? Let us know. You know, leave it in the comments what you think. And
Let's just take a minute to just soak and digest in the physique of a man with the body of steel, as Ali would say. He's ready.
Where should I fight him? Where should I kick his ass? You know, and we'll go from there. That's sweet. Check that out. Yeah.
So yes, watching these two Middle Eastern convenience store final bosses battle it out to see who's the toughest of them all is going to be fantastic, in my opinion. But
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the gayest of them all?
Sneeko. Or excuse me, Cucko.
I would be shocked if Azuli and Ali actually did end up fighting. I don't think it's going to happen. I would love to be proven wrong just to see clips of these two of these two social rejects going at it, but
social reject. That's my nickname. Don't wear it out. No, I'm just kidding.
The only reason
I got plenty of friends.
The only reason we even watch these guys is for the Schadenfreude.
Sounds like that one father and son duo who constantly stage videos of the father destroying the son's electronics. Or that one guy who destroyed his son's Xbox because he, quote, couldn't make a career out of it, but then the guy actually ended up making a career out of playing Xbox games and other consoles, and I bet the dad was feeling so sour.
Here, please hit me as hard as you can.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I think of when I see those types of videos, and I'm just like, it's not funny. It's not funny, it's not clever, it's just cringe.
Weaponized cringe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But we've got to go over strengths and weaknesses before we decide who is going to be the winner of this boxing bout. Because, again, we don't really have any video footage of them actually training, actually sparring, because I'm pretty sure neither of them have ever been in a fight in their entire life, which is going to make this all the more entertaining to watch, of course. But there are some strengths, some weaknesses for each of them. We're going to go down the line and see who we think overall is going to come out on top. So let's do this. All right, so we got these two miniature men in an ultimate religious battle to see who's the best between Islam and the tiny hats, their representatives. Let's go down the line. Strengths and weaknesses, let's figure this out, all right?
I love how Azuli's picture is supposed to make him look like a fucking action movie gangster, but it looks like it was just generated in AI.
Probably was, honestly.
It might as well have been.
All right, first up, size and strength. Now we know from what we saw, it looks like Ali's a little bit bigger. He does have the smallest chicken legs in the world. That's why we call him Chicken Legs Aladdin. But he is a little bit bigger. Also, Ben Azuli, even though he is a decent size, is on 1,000 milligrams of trenbolone per week. Huge problem because those are fake muscles and fake strength. Also inhibits your cardiovascular ability. So this one's kind of interesting. We might give them an actual draw on this one. Neither of them are that big, that strong, that fast. All right, next is going to be mentality and confidence. This is always important in any type of fight like this.
Fun fact, trenbolone... extensive use of trenbolone can actually cause permanent brain damage.
Huh?
Extended use of trenbolone can actually cause permanent brain damage.
Sounds about right.
So no wonder Azuli's so stupid, so monumentally retarded.
Hey man, that's not nice. I'm just kidding. I love it.
And from what we've seen, as I showed earlier, as we look at this here, it only took one tiny man to drag Ben Azuli all the way off the stage while Ali held his ground with 3 grown men. So, yes, we're actually going to have to give this one mentality and confidence to Ali, as he already sort of punked Ben Azuli's ass out on that podcast. So that's going to go to Ali. All right, the next is going to be cardiovascular capability. For all you out there who do combatives, know that this is easily one of the most important things in any type of fight. And that is going to go to, yes, again, Ali Soba, Not because he's necessarily the most in shape. You think he's in decent shape. But Ben Azuli, again, on all that juice and 1,000 milligrams of trenbolone per week, he's not going to last longer than 30 seconds with anybody in the ring. So if Ali can hang on for over about 45 seconds, it's going to be ugly for old Benny boy. All right, now actual age. This is a little bit of a Jake Paul style match because, Ben Azuli, I believe, is in his mid-30s, and I'm pretty sure, Ali's in the mid-50s. We know by that midlife crisis he's got going on. So I'm going to have...
Midlife crisis. Ali's in his mid-50s and chasing Instagram likes. Could that be any more cringe if he sat down and actually tried?
Yeah, that's pretty cringe.
Have to give sort of the age advantage because he's young enough to Benny Boy on this one. All right, and the final determiner. We have to do it because, of course, we're in the alpha male universe. Who's the biggest alpha male between the two? It's going to be very important in this boxing match. And I got to say, between the two of them, guys, well, there is nothing less alpha male than someone who assaults women. Got the Wood Chipper Tribe tank top on right now. So unfortunately for Ben, yes, the biggest alpha male between the two, even though we give him a hard time on this channel, I do think he's actually a good man deep down. That's going to go to Ali. Yes, Ali easily, I think, sweeps this when we put everything together. When the betting lines come out, I am, in fact, going to put my money on Ali Soba, probably by knockout in 5 rounds if I had to guess. Yes, Ali. We got your back on this one. That's who I'm...
5 rounds is honestly being generous.
Yeah.
I'm going to be cheering for, guys. Ali Sob. All right, guys, and if this fight actually gets scheduled, if it's actually going to happen, I've got a message for Ali. And Ali, if you see this, which I'm sure you will, I will come help train you and get you ready to fight old Queen Azuli for this bout myself, because at the end of the day, guys, even though, he gets pissed off that I make fun of him, Ali is actually my favorite of all the alpha male characters in this universe. Why? He's the only one that really did build businesses. He is actually successful. And while we love to give him a hard time, his messaging actually is pretty positive and good to young men. So I actually would like to see him beat the brakes off of old Queen Douche, no doubt, all right? So let me know, Ollie, if you're interested in that. I've got a lot to offer you in that regard. I can promise you that. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Put in the comments section, who do you think, who do you got in this bout between old Ali and Ben Azuli? It's going to be a wild one. I can't wait to see this fight. If it happens, we'll just have to wait and see. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Catch you in the next one. See if we got an update on this soon.
Who wins? Anybody who doesn't watch this farce of a match. That's who wins.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say no, dog.
Yeah. So, now we see the return of John Bravo to tear up another fake alpha male. This one is a Jerry Curl con man who goes by the name of Vincent Fisher. And Random Gamer, hey! Welcome to the stream.
About time you showed up, brother. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, you missed it. We were just watching American Thor roast Timu Liver King. Hey, you're good, man. As long as you're here, that's what matters. So now we're going from
one.
one.
If you guys hear a squeak here and there, I'm literally using a squeaker from one of my dog's destroyed toys to get his attention while he's being a little shit. It works.
Hey, if it works, it works. So now we're jumping from one guy roasting 2 fake alpha males to another guy roasting a fake alpha male. This guy being Vincent Fisher, aka Pubes Watson. Because he's a Wes Watson clone who looks like he's got a head full of pubic hair.
Why does that sound like a Quibble Pop?
I mean,
You know, looks like a scrotum with a head full of pubic hair.
you might not be wrong, actually.
So I wanted to do a little digging and see. And there's this penthouse that this Vincent is always bragging about. Every one of his videos is about this penthouse, right? In Miami on the top floor, right? I wanted to see, does he own it? Does he rent it? What's the story? Because he tries to make everybody believe that he owns this thing, right?
We beat the system. Now I keep $1 million in there, I get another $1 million.
See what I mean about the head full of pubes?
Why does that look like a mashup between Little Dicky and I Got Nothing? That's just pathetic.
By the way, the late 90s called, they want the ramen noodle hairstyle back. Like a wannabe broccoli head.
Sadly, it looks like what Timu version of Carlos from Resident Evil 3 remake.
He looks like he's trying. He looks like he's trying and failing to do the Sam Jackson from Pulp Fiction look.
Why the fuck would you do that?
The only man who could pull that look off was Sam Jackson.
Oh man, I accidentally shot Marvin in the face.
I used the same fucking soap as you did, and when I finished, the towel didn't look like no goddamn maxi pad.
You know, stuff like that is precisely why I say the Earth isn't round or flat. It's fucked.
Dude, I've been watching lately I've been watching some old NSYNC music videos. You'd find more soul in Justin Timberlake's Cornrows from 2003.
Basically.
You'd find more soul in Justin Bieber's Cornrows.
When the fuck did that guy have cornrows?
It was like early mid 2010s.
Are we talking about Bieber or Timberlake?
Bieber?
I remember him having that bowl cut around then.
It was like 2014, 2015, or 2016 when he started doing the cornrows. And Timberlake, it was like 2001, 2002. It was around the tail end of when NSYNC was first together, like before he went solo.
Yeah, he only had like one good solo song. He only had like one good solo song, and that's Mirrors.
I don't know if I've ever heard it or not. A lot of that Billboard Top 40 pop shit just kind of blurs together for me. I've been listening to a lot of Metallica lately.
Yeah, I noticed you've been when you do those albums where you talk about what you've been listening to, and sure enough, yep, there's a lot of Metallica on my feed.
Well, yeah, because Metallica's the shit.
Yeah, it's the shit and not shit, if you feel me.
When you're going through a band's discography, usually you'll run into like like 3 or 4 albums where you're like, this one's maybe not as good as these other ones, but it's like Metallica, except for one album, never disappointed me. The only album they've ever done that I didn't care for was Saint Anger, and that's because it sounded less like Metallica and more like a Godsmack cover band led by James Hetfield.
Dude, literally.
Like, even the stuff that they get no credit for whatsoever, like the post-Saint Anger albums are actually pretty good, and even Load and Reload, which are Metallica just doing like alternative rock / blues metal, are good albums. Are they as good as Ride the Lightning or Justice for All or the Black Album? No, but they're still really good albums.
You ever heard of a band called El Nino?
I have not.
Well, at the end of the Freddy vs. Jason, there's that song "How Can I Live Without You." That's the English translation. That's the English translation of their song "How Can I Live." And then there's the band that did the intro song for that movie, Spine Shank.
It sounds like an early 2000s band.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, Load has some really good like, Until It Sleeps is a banger. King Nothing is a banger. And then Reload has Fuel. Fucking Fuel. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Yeah, hang on.
You good?
Yeah, I forgot to turn the oven off.
Oop. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, douche moment.
Anyways.
Million, I'll buy a real estate property for $4
I
million.
actually have to get off here in a minute.
Oh, you're good. Yes, that.
Yeah, I gotta take the dog outside one more time, and I gotta eat something because I'm running low on energy.
Oh, you're good. Yes, Fuel is an absolute banger. That's the perfect album. That's the perfect track to start an album off with.
Yeah.
Oh. And then Unforgiven 2, which I love just for that slow, bluesy feel it's got.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So there's a new asshole in town. This giraffe-looking
Right,
piece
y'all.
of shit.
All right, y'all. This Burglord is signing off. So I'll see you guys next week. That's if Chris is streaming next week.
I'm gonna see about just making Friday our stream days.
Making what?
I'm gonna see about just making Friday our stream days, even if even if I'm not gonna be alone to stream.
I mean, works for me. I'm free all the time.
Yeah. So we will. So, yeah. Go.
Y'all enjoy the rest of this one, and I'll probably come back, watch it later. But I gotta go.
All right. We will catch you later.
All right. See y'all.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Now it's just us dudes. I mean, with one less dude. But anyway.
Pubic hair on his fucking head. I'm looking at him. I'm like, what's wrong with this asshole? But like all the others, he's from Miami. He drives around the same block on Brickell over and over and over with that pubic hair of his flying in the wind because he thinks people need to look at it.
I wonder if these guys realize they are actively degrading the property value of the entirety of Miami-Dade County. Like, I don't know about you, dude, but I wish Miami was still just known for Bad Boys and Miami Vice.
Nobody wants to see that shit. He even has a sharmuta by his side, right? From Russia. He says it's his Russian model from Instagram, right?
Mail order bride.
But we all know he ordered that shit in the fucking mail.
You want to know the real reason why I'm successful, bro? It's not because I'm extremely intelligent with a genius level IQ. It's not because I'm unusually tall, sexy, and handsome. It's because I'm delusionally optimistic.
And if you think about it, right? If you look...
I mean, that's one way to describe it. You're delusionally optimistic about your chances of being able to spin this into a career that will keep you, that will make you enough bank to live off of.
Look at him. If Peggy...
But it's not about the money, it's also about the clout.
Watson and the 7-foot monster had a love child, that would be this asshole, because this asshole, right, look at him coming out of the car looking like that tall giraffe he is. He is actually 7 foot tall with that pubic hair dangling around everywhere. But everyone's been wondering.
John, babe. Here it comes.
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay? No more! Where the fuck are your parents? Who are your parents? I'm gonna call Child Protective Services. It's time to stop!
Jeez. Right now, I can't look at a giraffe and keep a straight face.
Is his life a lie? How is this 22-year-old kid a millionaire by selling programs to kids? I mean,
short version, he's not. He's a trust fund brat who thinks he can spin his wheels in the guru space. Except the guru space is more crowded than a Japanese subway at 7:45 a.m.
Look, we know how all these guys do it. They do everything for show. Their life is rented. Their life is a lie. So I wanted to take a little bit closer of a look into this asshole. And this is what I found.
You guys need to understand that to some degree life is materialistic, right? It's always broke people judging rich people. They're always like, oh, well, I don't need a penthouse. I live in a box. I don't need a hypercar. I have a Honda. You can't
And it's fake rich people scamming poor people to make themselves richer.
get a hypercar. And for that reason, you're hating, right? But to some degree, the results in your life reflect that you have the blueprint figured out, right? If I was telling you guys all this shit, but I didn't have a penthouse, I didn't have a Russian model rubbing my shoulders, I don't have 4 million in cars, what's the validity to my statements? There is none.
So when I first saw this asshole, you guys remember one of the greatest movies ever, Coming to America, right? I remember it as a kid. Remember that one asshole, the real asshole, Daryl, who was full of himself, looking at himself in the mirror, thinking he's the shit, pretending he's this good guy, but in actuality, he was a piece of shit asshole. Well, when I first saw Vincent Fisher and how he's acting with that hairdo of his, I was like, this guy Daryl must have been his idol.
Right, it's very hard to die or go broke if you look like money. Might just seduce somebody, get a goddamn meal, you know what I'm saying?
If you tried getting a free meal with that smile, you would end up on the sex offender registry. I'm just telling you right now. You look like you don't belong. You look like you should not be allowed within 50 yards of, let's be generous and say, a college campus.
Might just, go into Fry's, wink at the goddamn waitress. Hey, on the house.
I mean, look at the way he was looking at himself, right? Saying he's so handsome, saying he's so good looking, right? But then, that Russian Sharmuta of his, look how he treats her the same way as that asshole Daryl was trying to treat the girls.
Yes, where I'm from, we have to be very aggressive. I'm all for that. Especially with women.
If I was telling you guys all this shit, but I didn't have a penthouse, I didn't have a Russian model rubbing my shoulders, I don't have 4 million in cars.
Take charge. Tell them what to do.
Vincent Fisher, the best man of the world. Yes, yes.
So let's go back a little. This asshole Vinny, he was 17 years old, right? He was a kid. He was skinny as hell, right? So he wanted to get bigger. And he admits here, I'm going to show you in a moment, that he took steroids because people are wondering. You see this guy on camera. You think he's 35 years old. There's no way this asshole is 22, right?
Why is there such a predictable pattern with these fucking guys? They're all on steroids. They all rent their lives. They all bought their followers. they buy fuck tons of bots to follow them to make it seem like they're more popular than they actually are, when in reality they're about as popular as polio. There's a science to this. And they're all fucking juiced. They're all so juiced they crash through the Kool-Aid Man's wall. Dude, at least attempt to be original. At least try to do something to be just a little bit, just a butthole hair's worth different. You guys all read from the same playbook. It's so much that it's almost like NPCs in a video game. A bad one.
Right? Especially when you see how he was just a few years ago. Well, he was selling programs to kids on that transformation, but he didn't tell them, of course, that he was taking steroids.
Of course not.
So with that, so you say you were natty at first. Did you ever experimented or wanted to experiment with like any enhancements?
Yeah. Like after I moved to Miami and stuff like that, play around with stuff. I guess I got involved with a lot of stuff.
What I missed, I had to step away. My nephew showed up and I had to fix this forward. Hey, honestly, you didn't really miss much of anything. Bravo's giving us a recap of this soup sandwich's existence, and I went off on a tangent about how these guys are all running off of the same fucking playbook, so you didn't really miss a whole lot. But the TLDR, this guy's another fake natty who's so juiced he crashes through the Kool-Aid Man's wall, who rents his entire existence out.
So, anyways, I got up to like 220 during that time. But what happened was I had health issues. And then on top of that, my psychological wasn't on point, where I'm like crashing out and like started arguments. I wasn't being the stoic person I am. And then I kind of removed myself from that. That's another reason I've never said this on camera, but that's why I stopped strict reselling fitness programs.
And I always say, when you're a kid and you take shit like this, it's going to age you prematurely. It's going to make you look 10, 15 years, if not more, older than what you're supposed to be. So I always say, kids should stay away from the shit. And you saw how he was saying he had health problems and he had to stop. Well, what happened? His business that he was teaching the kids this shit had to stop too, because he was going to shrink up like a little bitch, and he knew nobody would buy the shit, right? So he had another bright idea, the same one as all the rest of these assholes. He's going to sell people programs on how to coach people to be coaches. It's like a modern day pyramid scheme, right? Without having to...
It is a pyramid scheme. There's no other way to describe it. It is a pyramid scheme. It starts with fuck nugget up here, and then 2 fuck nuggets buy the program, and then they sell that program to 3 more fuck nuggets, and then 4 more fuck nuggets, and it's just one big just one big fuck nugget pile up. Ugh.
To go door to door like a little Sharmuta Mary Kay. You guys remember her? It's the same shit.
I coach coaches who coach coaches. Like that's what I do. But I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm not gonna say buy my course instead. I'm gonna say, listen, the numbers are there. Obviously, I'm good at what I do. People go, oh, well, you're a scammer. I mean, if I teach you how to go viral, and I teach you how to make money, and I happen to be viral and make money, that's...
I'm going to blow my fucking lid.
living proof that I know to some degree what I'm talking about.
But in order for his plan to work, right, he has to show that he...
Bro is self-aware and still doing it. I don't know if you're talking about Vincent or me, but...
He's making money, he's got the Sharmuta on his side, he lives in a penthouse, he's got Lamborghinis, Rolls Royces, all these cars, right? So
all rentals. The penthouse is a rental. I would not be the least bit surprised if the Russian Instagram model is a mail order bride.
So he had to find a way to get this shit in order to sell these programs.
We're buying a $3.5 million hypercar at 22 years old. Now, I just sent the wire out this morning, so we're going to run a few errands and go pick.
Noodlehead, he literally said he coaches out. Random Gamer, do you have a diaper I can put on my brain? Because my noggin pooted itself when I read the last comment. Yeah, he coaches, so it's like coachception. Just blam. Coaching within coaching within coaching. So you're literally admitting that's your entire bit. So yeah, he's admitting that's his entire business model. His entire business model is selling bullshit. You might as well just sell a program on inner beauty.
Pick that up, but in the meantime, I don't know if I've ever shown the penthouse on the channel, but you guys can see here, this the spot we got in. And boys, when I say penthouse, I don't mean 40th floor. When I say penthouse, I mean it's 2 stories, and there's absolutely nothing above us if you guys take a look outside. Yes, sir.
So I wanted to do...
Maybe it's my acrophobia kicking. Maybe this is my acrophobia talking, but I refuse to see the how and why of wanting to live that high off the ground. Like, I don't even like getting a room anywhere above the 3rd or 4th floor in a hotel when I'm traveling. So I damn sure wouldn't want to be in a penthouse that high off the fucking ground.
A little digging and see. And there's this penthouse that this Vincent is always bragging about. Every
power fantasy? I mean, if I want a power fantasy, I'll just play Zelda.
One of his videos is about this penthouse, right? In Miami on the top floor, right? I wanted to see, does he own it? Does he rent it? What's the story? Because he tries to make everybody believe that he owns this thing, right?
We fucking beat the system. Now I keep $1 million in there, I get another $1 million, I buy a real estate property for $4 million.
I love how these guys always talk about, oh, we're beating the system, we're beating the Matrix. No. You're just putting more people into a different system. You're putting more people into a different Matrix. You are not Morpheus. You're the architect.
We're fucking balling. Fuck, I wake up in my 2-story penthouse and decide which $500,000 car to drive. No, I have no boss, nobody.
That reminds me, I gotta play Matrix Path of Neo on the channel at some point, because that game is underrated as hell.
He tells me what to do, and I'm like, fuck.
So I went and I got the address for the place, and I looked it up, and I found an old Zillow listing, right? But something was very interesting in this Zillow listing. If you guys take a look here at all these pictures, notice something. Look at the decorations, look at the furniture, look at everything. It's the exact same setup, right? That this asshole's using when he's...
Sure, these guys think they're above everybody else and claiming to live in the top of the penthouse. It's just a physical representation of that. Yeah, so they can look down on all the filthy pores, both literally and metaphorically.
He's filming his videos, but this listing is years old. So what's the story of it? So I took it even further. I went to the tax website on the address of the house, and lo and behold, he's not the owner of it, right? I went and looked up the MLS, and it says that it was rented last October, right? And if you look here, I'm going to show...
Exposed, 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 exposed. You are exposed. Exposed, 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 exposed. You are exposed, sir. I'm gonna expose you. Expose you. Oh my God, expose you.
October, right? And And if you look here, I'm going to show his posting on Instagram. The day he moved in, he was posting it and flaunting it on Instagram like he owns it. Now, this is the thing. I can't see the name of who actually rented it. For all we know, it's rented out for movie shoots, photo shoots, pictures, because I spoke to the neighbors there.
And not the kind that you want that you want children to see either, if we're talking movie shoots.
And they said they only see him there.
I hope they have those fancy windows that you can dim down with the press of a button.
Once in a while. So what's the real story? We don't know.
Footage sent to me by his neighbor, they said it took him 30 takes. 30 takes. Just to read from the same script every Timu Tate reads off of.
But we do know that the asshole's renting the place. So that got me thinking. I'm like, if he's renting this place pretending he's owning it, right? What about...
The floors are probably sticky. Oh, dude! That's nasty.
That Russian Sharmuta over there, who says he didn't order that shit in the mail? What about all those cars he drives, right? The cars he drives are from that same shady place their influencers get their cars from. Remember Wes when he was in the car arguing about not having a title and registration? That was bought from this same place. But I mean, a kid, 22 years old, driving around now, he's saying $3.5 million car, getting it from that same shady place. So I knew some shady shit is going on, and that got me thinking, all right? This kid still has to have money in order to pull this shit off, right? I remember when he spoke about something, he said, I knew in life that I was going to be successful, whether it was going to be being a criminal or not being a criminal, but he was going to find a way.
Like, the thing is, I was either going to end up ridiculously rich with the right thing or ridiculously rich a criminal. Just because that's how my mind works.
He also was saying how much he loves debt, right? And how he found creative ways to get money and use money to purchase things that wasn't his own.
I love debt, and I think that's why America is the place that people move to go 0 to 100, because you have access to other people's money. There's nowhere else in the world where you have as easy access to other people's money as the U.S. The U.S. is trillions in debt already. Yeah. I'd always go over using other people's money over my own.
So you're just admitting you're a con man. You have smoked yourself retarded.
Game's always between you and getting called a cunt. That dropped eye of yours looks like the hood on a cunt to me, Jack. When you talk, your mouth looks like a cunt moving.
I ain't gonna get no gunfight with you, Hickok.
But you will run your cunt mouth at me.
Even when I'm at the highest branches of U.S. banks, right? When I'm at, the banks and they deal with bigger amounts of money that's moving through accounts, you're talking to a different staff. But, I'll speak to these people and they'll say the same thing. They'll go, Vince, none of the wealthy families we work with use their own money. A lot of them use like life insurance policies to not use their own money. A lot of them will just take out loans and stuff to not use their.
That is wild. The types of things people are just willing to say and admit to on an open mic. Vincent, Andrew Tate bragged incessantly about being a con man and a sex trafficker. And look at where it got him. I don't think that's where you want to fucking be. Now, granted, as far as I know, Vincent doesn't have an OnlyFans stable, but he's still a slimy cum rag.
Their own money, but as a rule of thumb, why would you use your own money when you could use somebody else's?
So when I put all these things together, right, I was thinking, that's what he's doing. He is doing creative things, crooked things, to put this show on for everyone in order to sell all these programs to kids.
You know, my target audience is people my age. So like the oldest, you know, there's a few outliers in a group of guys that are a little bit older, but as a rule of thumb in general, my guys are in their early 20s, same age as me. Oh, wow. Some guys are 2 years older, but it's kind of like the same exact thing.
And something else I noticed too, you know how he was saying criminal shit? Look what he says here. Remember how I told you, you know, people were fucking with my channel. I didn't mention names, you know, but we all know who it was, right? Well, what's funny is the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree.
For context, Wes Watson, Peg Watson, another fake guru that I'm sure Vincent's getting a lot of his cues from, filed false community guideline strikes against John Bravo and had all his army of nut huggers and meat riders also file false community guideline strikes against John Bravo to attempt to get his channel taken down, which you would think an ex-con, a convicted felon, would know a thing or two about about the perils of filing false community guideline strikes like that against somebody, especially maliciously, because it's considered a felony under penalty of perjury. You chrome dome cunt.
With all these guys, they must be all connected together because we all know they think the same way.
Oh yeah, they all run in the same circle jerk. They all probably peg each other.
Because look what this
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
asshole admits that he would do to someone.
But I'm in the world of business, right? To some degree, I'm in the education game on a smaller scale. Yeah. So if somebody were making serious, false, defamatory threats against me, if that's even a word.
It's not defamation if it's true. And if anybody's threatening you, it's one of your alt accounts that you use to make it seem like people are going after you maliciously, when in reality, you're just talking yourself into the welfare line.
A split second of my mind goes, and how much would it cost to delete this person? Not kill them. Like, how much would it cost to take the channel down? Yeah, 2,000. All right, let's do that. I'm not saying that I've done anything like that, but it's crossed my mind. And I think if I'm in the game of just making a few million, right?
If you were the least bit smart, you'd know not to do it, and you'd know not to acknowledge those people. But you can't because your ego's more inflated than Wayne Knight in that one scene in Space Jam.
Right, and there's people that make trillions. Do they not think the same thing a little bit? Do they not think, oh, this guy, oh, maybe he had an eye on him, he's got set in the middle. Oh, this guy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just giving an idea. Like, I'm just taking it into account.
So like I said earlier, in order for this asshole's plan to work, he has to sell this stream. He has to sell this lifestyle to kids who are easily manipulated. I mean, that shit's not going to work on people who are experiencing life, but think about his target audience and think about them seeing the Russian sharmuta, the penthouse, the cars. They don't want this shit. So what do? They buy his program. In the end, think about it, right? If enough of these assholes buy it, he's going to end up making money. But to me, he's always just going to be that giraffe-looking pubic hair piece of shit.
So the problem with most men is they're unsuccessful in thinking they have the world figured out to the T. I speak to so many men. I'm like, bro, you need to tweak this. You need to do that. They're like, Vince, yeah, but you don't understand, bro, how my mind works. How your mind works does not work. And that's why you don't have results. So you need to drop your ego and switch your mind. Learn from somebody that has the results you want in life.
I love that that contemptuous smirk on her face while she's daintily rubbing and massaging his shoulders. Like, she knows that every word out of his mouth is horseshit. English is not her first language, and she knows what he's selling is bullshit. What does that say about you, Vincent?
and they're inevitable.
Guys, thanks for watching.
When the Russian mail order bride knows you're full of shit.
Please hit like on my video.
This self-proclaimed alpha male would...
Oh, God. Another one. I shouldn't be surprised it's another one because I put it in the watch later folder specifically for this fucking stream. Watching these people is like just... I mean, Schadenfreude is a necessity in life. You need to watch the stupid people. You need to look at the stupid people and point and laugh at the stupid people because it reminds you that you're not them. These guys sometimes are just too much for me. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's because every single male adult that I grew up around would shit all over these guys.
This self-proclaimed alpha male went viral for charging $18,000 for a 75-hour boot camp designed to destroy the old version of yourself. But now he has a new venture where you can pay him a little over $2,000 so he belittles you and your son together. What a great deal. But after this alpha male boot camp got clowned on over and over again for its insane price tag and interesting promotional material, whatever that is, yeah.
Where it's like, oh, you pay 18 grand and you'll go through something that's similar to Navy SEALs buds training, and it's like, no. And it's a program run by a bunch of either have never been in the military or washed out of the military or never deployed. And so they got really drunk or really high and sat around watching the first half of Full Metal Jacket, and they were like, hey, you know what we could do? We could, like, charge people money to go through another form of basic training like we did, and we'll just scream at them like Arlie Ermy, and that'll make us a fuckload of money. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but somebody actually died at one of these programs. Angry Cops did a whole video on the Modern Day Night Project, and somebody died because, of course, the instructors, the gurus running this bullshit, this bullshit course, did not, were not licensed, never went through like drill instructor or drill sergeant training, so they didn't know what things to look for. They just and obviously didn't know about the consequences of rhabdomyolysis. There's like, oh, well, drill sergeant just screamed at us and that made us better soldiers. It's like, no. As Rich lays out in his own video, there's a science to it. There's a science to how drill instructors and drill sergeants operate. There's no science to just getting in somebody's face and screaming at them all day.
Yeah, it's safe to say the $18,000 boot camp known as Modern Day Night Project closed its doors.
He was part of MDK. Oh my god. That's exactly what I was just talking about.
Don't worry though, because the creator of this ridiculous program, Bedros, he runs 2 more Crucibles, where he still is spraying people in the face with a hose all day. I mean, these days it feels like there's an alpha male lurking around every corner, hoping to exploit men's insecurities for financial gain. And let's face it, whether it's TikTok shop mouth tape, a bogus course on becoming your own boss, or an $18,000 weekend for being waterboarded in creative ways, these alphas are cashing in big time. But we're focusing on this guy today.
If you pay money for any of these courses, you are a beta for life. I'm just telling you straight up. I don't like using terms like alpha male or beta male unironically, but if you pay for any of these courses, you are a whole bitch. And you got ripped off. And you're never going to see that money again. So enjoy the welfare line.
Bedros, who actually does seem to be a successful entrepreneur from his fitness franchise called Fit Body Bootcamp. And looking at some of the gyms and their reviews, it seems like he's running a solid business here, and he really provides value to communities all around the States. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend every one of these guys are like a Wes Watson type that are just lying about their success, but I will talk about the buffoonery they do on the side by convincing a large group of men that for them to also be successful, they need to be spending $18,000 to LARP as a Navy SEAL. Because,
and that's the thing, I don't care if you are running a legitimate business. If you're running one of these types of courses, you are an absolute jizz to me.
honestly, that's just a fascinating use of free will on both sides of the coin. And that's one of the ways Bedros built his coaching empire. I'm sure none of you are strangers to the Alpha Male Bootcamp videos that went viral over the last few years, because those things are wild to watch, and I can only assume even...
Not for me. They're just weaponized cringe.
...more wild to attend. Not in the good way. I do not understand why anyone would ever want to pay money for someone to just sit and humiliate and torture you. Okay. But I guess it's just purely for the LARP. It's for the people who don't really have time to join the Navy SEALs, but do want to wear matching shirts and being yelled at by retired military vets.
Just join the military! Not only is signing up for the military free, but some branches of the military actually offer enlistment bonuses for it. And it teaches you actual life skills that you can apply in everyday life. This, you're just wasting money. You're just wasting money to play patty cake with a bunch of other fucking rejects.
But obviously those videos went extremely viral, mainly for the reason that people did not understand why someone would ever pay $18,000 to get sand thrown in your face and get waterboarded by a garden hose. But believe it or not, from 2019 to 2024, they ran 20 sessions of the Modern Day Night Project. And while it's not confirmed that they stopped doing it because of all the negative publicity, it ended only a few months after multiple large YouTubers came out with videos clowning on them.
All right, everybody, quick update.
And because somebody fucking died at one of their courses.
About Project Class 020, Class 20. Inside my gym, you can see the floors are still wet from sweat. They did the 302. During the 302, one young man gave up and rang that bell right over there. The reason he gave up is not because he was physically unable to do the 302. He gave up because he was mentally had given up. He had negotiated his way out already during the 302. So other than that, everyone else will be walking in here in just a minute and the project will kick off. In the meantime, remember, mental toughness, emotional toughness, physical toughness all go together.
What's sad here is you can kind of assume that a lot of these guys joining these programs were probably already struggling with their self-confidence, and I'm sure reading comments and watching the videos about how lame you are for paying someone to do something like this to you was definitely not helping the situation. But I think
it would actually cost less money to join a gym program or a dojo. At least then you would actually learn self-discipline, self-defense, and grow confidence.
I think something that a lot of people did not realize was that Bedros didn't really stop these overpriced alpha camps. He just kind of got a little bit more creative with them, which brings us to the Crucibles. 2-day single events that claim to give you pretty much exactly what the Modern Day Night program did, aka the $18,000 Alpha Male Bootcamp, just faster and for quite a lot less money, which isn't saying much because the Misogi Challenge and the Squires Project still cost $1,500 and $1,900 respectively. But what's really crazy about both of these programs is they actually existed before 2024, but it feels like they became Bedros' main focus after the whole Modern Day Nights thing kind of got clowned on over and over again by the internet. But I'm going to start with the slightly less insane one because that's how we build things up here. And it's still geared towards insecure adults instead of their children. Yes, you heard me correct, but we'll get into that later on because the whole children thing, that's a little... We'll get into it. But for now, enter the Misogi Challenge.
What is the Misogi? It's a Japanese purification ritual. The beautiful thing about the Misogi is you cleanse away the old version of you when you go through a period of suffering.
Imagine spending over $1,000 on that. Bedros has historically branded all of his programs and...
Imagine spending any amount of money on that. Couldn't be me.
A sort of medieval theme. Modern day knight, squires, and all this revolves around the common alpha mindset that men were tougher hundreds of years ago when all had terrible hygiene and were dying of now curable diseases. But before the Misogi Project, Bedros decided that he needed a new culture to appropriate, I guess, and he settled on Japan for some reason. Actually, I think the reason is
Men were more masculine when McDonald's burgers were actually made out of beef and not whatever weirdo goat sphincter concoction they use now.
probably read this article, and I guess just realized you could repackage another culture's personal growth challenge and charge over $1,000 for it. So, that's good old American capitalism, baby. Bald eagle, American flag, yeah, buddy. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love our culture, but
America, fuck yeah!
I digress. A misogi, it's a traditional Japanese Shinto ritual for purification of the mind, body, and spirit. But in recent years, it evolved into the misogi
Purification of the mind, body, and spirit. Get baptized.
challenge, where the concept is that you do one really hard thing a year, like a marathon or a polar plunge or anything basically, just giving yourself an outlandish goal to complete once a year to help you build confidence in your own abilities. That in itself makes a lot of sense, but what doesn't make sense is paying $1,500 for someone else's version of it when you could just decide to do it for free right now or whenever. But hey, $1,500, you think that's too expensive? I guess it's just your limiting beliefs, bro, because literally on the site they have, the price is too much. I can't afford that. You're right, you can't. The price is too much because you're thinking way too small. That's a problem because you're meant to do big things. And this Misogi challenge, it'll help you remove the BS out of your head that's stopping you from playing in the big leagues. If you want to play in the big leagues, you better be taking this water hose to the face. You heard me, young man? So let us help you stop playing in the minor leagues.
You are not... Okay, paying 18 grand for this is not going to turn you into Chris Kyle. It's just going to make you a dumb bitch who blew 18 grand.
Somehow I feel like that just sounds like a distorted version of...
Or 1,590. The levels of bullshit in these courses just blurs together for me.
A BMW salesman. You see this M3? It could be yours, but your
These people are just glorified used car salesmen.
mind's stopping you. All you gotta do is sell a course or two.
Dude, why does a Tozy look like Don Matrick unveiling the Xbox One here? Look. Look. Don Matrick here. A Tozy here.
Actually, buy this right now and then use this bad boy to sell a course. You just gotta think outside of the box, bro. I feel like if you sell courses, you're in the minor leagues if you have an M3, and then you're like the major league course seller, bro. They have a Lamborghini Urus. That's like the hierarchy of course sellers.
If you're selling courses, I instantly don't like you. That's just me.
And then you have like the pinnacle of absolute shenanigans of that's when you buy a hypercar from Cario Motors. But I digress from the course seller's hierarchy. So obviously there is no shortage of people willing to pay any amount in hopes of expediting their mental and emotional healing and kickstarting their success. And even though Bedros' Misogi challenge, it does allow women, it seems to be more alpha man dude energy here.
My job today is to make you squeal like a mother pig. That's what's gonna happen. I want to get some feedback in terms of what
your job is to bully these woefully insecure men and steal their money under the guise of improving them.
expectation was and what your experience is like.
I expected to throw up and I threw up.
Okay. We met your expectation.
I wonder why. So now that we've gone through the Misogi challenge, now for the one that makes me go, what's going on here? Why are we doing this, guys? Because Bedros also runs this Squire program where fathers can bring their sons and turn them into men by almost drowning them.
If my dad ever brought me to this, I would instantly disown him. But my dad would have taken one look at this, and the flurry of homosexual innuendos that would have come out of his mouth would have been enough to make to make Billy Eichner burst into flames.
Because nothing says this is what it means to be a man than paying someone close to $2,000 to belittle you and your son. It's giving divorced father energy, saying, hey son, I know I wasn't present, but now I just spent $2,000 to turn you into a man.
If I wanted to be belittled, I would save the money and just take a picture of myself standing here in nothing but my underwear, post it to Twitter and say, look at this sexy beast, and just watch the comments flood with an influx of fat jokes. However, unlike these guys, I don't have a humiliation fetish.
I know it's not funny, but that's kind of the energy I'm feeling here. Like, come on, what happened to playing catch? Or engaging with your kid through hobbies and interests? Like, sure, some kids might feel lost or even weak, but...
Or bonding with your son via drives or through the country with music blasting out of the stereos, all the windows down, just you guys in the open road with a Godsmack CD or a Disturbed CD or a Styx CD, because my dad listened to a fuckload of Styx.
But why don't you engage with them? Sign them up for a sport. Be there with them. Go camping with them. Teach them how to change a tire. Actually, side note, like, I'm pretty sure every kid goes through a phase where they feel lost and weak. At least I did, but that's a part of the journey. And
literally everyone does. That's just life.
The solution isn't to have your son cry in a father-son ice bath with you. And this is also, like, all while, like, some alpha male's, like, screaming in your guys' face to, like, I guess, tolerate this. Because this is just wild. I'm, like, 4 seconds into this act. We have a second chance at a father-son relationship.
No matter what your experience was, we have a second chance at a father and son relationship.
You know, I said it's giving divorced dad energy. Yeah, after watching 4 seconds of this trailer, it's definitely giving divorced dad energy. All right, let's tolerate more than 4 seconds here.
And this time is when we are the fathers. A man has the duty and obligation to raise a son who is capable and confident so that he may be an asset to society and not a liability.
I'm like 6 seconds in now, and I already had to start. We are the fathers? Like, what do you mean? No, the father's the father here. Is this like, oh, hey, I'm going to pay almost $2,000 to have someone else be daddy for me and my son? Like, that, looking over you and your miserable son in an ice bath? Check. So this is like 75 hours of microdosing random things, like what, rope pulling, jujitsu. Like, just sign your kid up for jujitsu at this point.
It's probably cheaper. Actually, you know what? There's a dojo. Martial Arts, Cape Girardeau. Cape Martial Arts. I was hoping to see something about their, yeah, they got, they're, look for a martial arts class or a martial arts club in your area. I'm sure they're cheaper than this. And they build character and they build confidence. This is just you paying exorbitant amounts of money to LARP and look like a retard on the internet.
This is like trying to microdose some adversity for a bunch of kids who went to private school, but it's only for 75 hours or whatever. Obviously, I could play hours of videos of men in all ages carrying...
And not just kids who went to private school, who the popular kids who never had to face adversity, and now they're out of private school and they don't know what to do with themselves.
sandbags up a hill and crawling through the mud and sitting in ice baths while being screamed at. But I mean, I think you guys get the picture. The concept across all of these programs is essentially the same. Mainly, men pay a large amount of money to have some self-proclaimed alpha male berate them while exhausting themselves physically, mentally, and emotionally so that by the end of the day, they feel like they've actually accomplished something. Even though this is just essentially like a glorified beep test. But I guess I see the point of it. Like, it's hard to think about your day-to-day stress when you're focused on not inhaling water from a garden hose 2 feet from your face. So yeah, like, I bet a lot of these guys do leave these retreats feeling like they got what they paid for. And look, I'm not going to pretend that working out and pushing yourself to your limit and forming bonds with your peers are bad things. But I mean, you could just as easily, I don't know, join a martial arts club or a gym or a run club or a CrossFit gym and get essentially a lot of the same environment minus the matching shirts and initial shaming. Like,
and if you want the military experience, enlisting in the military is literally free.
Bedros himself admits that he was struggling with balancing everything in his life, his business, his fitness, and being there for his wife and kids. It got so bad that he apparently suffered panic attacks so intense that he visited a doctor assuming it was a heart attack. But do you know what he did to solve that? Instead of an expensive version of LARPing his Stanley yell nuts from holes for 12 hours, he did a 16-month stint of a legitimate therapy. Yeah, apparently our alpha male here didn't even solve his own problems the way he's telling other men to do so. Bedros worked over a year with a licensed professional to address his underlying trauma and heal himself, but also has the nerve to tell people to don't cut any corners here and try to jam all of that into a 12-hour scream session with garden hoses and sand being thrown at you.
Exposed, 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 exposed.
Almost like it's a grip.
Exposed, exposed, exposed.
Almost like the whole fucking thing's a grip.
Exposed, exposed, exposed. You are exposed. Exposed, 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 exposed. You are exposed, sir. I'm gonna expose you. Expose you. Oh my God, expose you.
Oh.
As I'm concerned, you have what it takes. So.
Oh, yeah.
We did not cut corners on you. We pushed you. We challenged you. We tested you.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did cut corners. You cut... This whole fucking program is cutting corners. Because if you want the military... Because, again, it's to simulate basic training. It's to simulate BUDS training. The problem is, BUDS training... Here. How long does BUDS last? 24 weeks. 24 weeks. 75 hours. And you know how I know this is supposed to be more... You know how it further cements to me this is supposed to be like BUDS? When you quit, you're supposed to ring the bell, and it's a bell that has the U.S. Navy stamped onto it. Not to mention, a lot of the shit they're doing is shit that is done in BUDS training, including laying down in the concrete and getting sprayed with water hoses while you do flutter kicks. This whole thing is just a LARP for people who either couldn't cut it in the military or really insecure, preppy, rich kids. And again, I know I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it. Joining, if you want the military experience, just join the actual fucking military, because that, at least, is free. So you won't waste $2,000 to $18,000. You fuck nut. Oh, it pisses me off so much.
And you delivered.
But obviously, telling people to go get therapy isn't as profitable. So Bedros keeps creating expensive boot camps so people can convince themselves they've healed in a day, or worse, that they need to pay that much more than once. Because a lot of the people in the testimonials admit they're repeat boot camp offenders. But like I said, a lot of the stuff they're doing...
Then maybe you're just wasting your time, money, and energy. Do you know one of these guys actually got a tattoo on his arm of the class that he went through? And you know he's going to roll into some bar where there's going to be a fuckload of veterans, and they're going to see that tattoo, and they're going to be like, "Hey, which class did you go through? Which branch did you serve in?" "Oh, well, I didn't serve, but I went through this program. I paid like $2,000, or I paid like 18 grand, and they did a lot of things that are just kind of like SEAL training. So I'm basically one of you guys, right?" That guy is going to get his ass kicked so hard, and he's going to deserve it.
Do in here in these camps you can do for free or for a fraction of the cost. Martial arts, cold plunging, basic body weight exercises. Like, these things are things you could do daily, and they would most likely be beneficial to your health. These quote-unquote alpha males want to convince you that they have some secret that you can also be in on for a price, but are saying the quiet part out loud. If you feel anxious, lost, or hopeless, talk to someone, ideally a legitimate therapist. And if you want to feel fulfilled and accomplished, more capable and confident, just set goals and work towards achieving them. Doesn't matter how big or how small they are, because the answers are from within. Hence why good therapists don't tell you what to do. They ask you questions until you unravel everything within yourself. And obviously, that is infinitely easier said than done. But if you enjoyed this video, feel free to drop a like, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe. And hey, if you guys want to get the best tasting sugar-free lemonade ever, you can go to gamersubs.gg/Tozy in the description down below. And if you don't believe me that it's the best tasting sugar-free lemonade ever made, you can literally get a free sample from me with free shipping if you use code ATOZY. So, and you don't even have to enter your credit card details or any other information than your shipping. You get free shipping, and you get free lemonade. If you don't believe me that this lemonade right here is the best sugar-free lemonade that I've ever had in my life. Some people be like, "Yo, the size is tiny, dog. How is this thing $40? Well, it's 100 servings because the spoon is tiny. You see, this is all you need. This is all you need for a cup of lemonade. I've already drank it. Gamersubs.gg/Atozy, link in the description down below in the pinned comment. And if you do end up buying something there, it really does support the channel. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Okay. Before I sign off for the night, because I gotta walk my dog, I've got I've got a couple of upcoming projects that I'd like to announce. If you've been following my Wattpad novella, I'm sorry I have not updated it with a new chapter yet. I'm kinda... I'm gonna try to get better about... I'm gonna... All I can say is I'm gonna try. I want to get a new chapter up now as soon as possible. So I'll be working on that soon. My next playthrough is in the tank. I'm just working on editing it right now. But I do have the thumbnail ready. And if you'll give me a moment, I'm actually going to pull it up for you. It is another PS1 Resident Evil clone from the early 2000s, and then I'm going to move on to a couple of PS2 titles. But the next game I'll be playing on the channel is... let me... There we go! That's right. We'll be doing Evil Dead Hail to the King. I just got to finish the edit for it, but that's not going to be the next video I post. The next video I post is going to be on the 2011 movie Megan is Missing. That is going to be a bottom of the bin episode. I was originally going to do a bottom of the bin rant on it for the stream, but then I realized, given the subject matter, if I watched it before stream, I would just be in an extremely sour mood. And so I'm going to end up just making a dedicated video for that. Then after I do the bottom of the bin for Megan is Missing, at least maybe 2-3 days afterwards, the Evil Dead playthrough will go up. And I haven't quite figured out yet what I'm going to play after Evil Dead. I've got a couple of possibilities that I'm leaning hard towards. But like I said, nothing quite concrete yet. So until next time, I appreciate everybody for stopping by. Random Gamer, if you're still out there, I appreciate you for stopping by, brother. Your presence is always much appreciated. But until next time, I will see you all in the next one.